Episode 51. And we fucking have video.
I totally ruined what you just said too.
Don't worry about
You were like, I was like, we have video.
We fucking have video. This is technically our second episode with video that we've put out. This is our first one we've ever recorded with video, so we are just as excited in episode 51 for video as we are for 50.
Let us tell you, it was a struggle bus.
But took a lot to get set up. This is our setup. It is going to change a lot in the next upcoming episodes, so expect those changes. They should be improvements. With that being said, this is episode 51, and our guest today is Vinson Rosello. He is a good friend of mine from the past. We went to high school together. He is a personal friend, almost sibling to Linda, who has been on our episodes, been on one of our episodes prior.
You just keep going.
And we have a ton of fun on this one. This one, I cannot even sum up. If anyone wants points we hit on, we fucking talk about everything.
It's a lot.
We literally talk about everything. We talk about different cultures. We talk about cancel culture. We talk about gene editing. We talk about the future. We talk about the past. We talk about, if you want a good idea of all the topics we touch on that make us no different than any other fucking podcast out there, feel free to listen to this episode because it is a good summary of it.
Welcome to the Tub and Tub podcast, because he's just fucking murdering it right now.
So yeah, we're happy to have you guys here. And anything you want to input before we throw them in?
No, dude, just fucking do the rest of it.
All right. Well, without further ado, please help us introducing our guest, Vinson Rosello, as we start episode 51 now. Yes! Welcome to the Nick and Tub
podcast. That was good. Again, I'm always fucking stoked on it.
I'm like, that fucking dumb podcast. Like, I like it.
It's fucking good shit.
That was so good. Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done.
So it's just,
right,
I'm going to be like 1, 2, 3, clap. All right.
Got it.
So 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Fucking solid.
Always celebrating the claps so that everybody knows that we clapped.
Yes.
That was smooth.
This is episode 51, but
technically the first video episode.
Yes.
So cheers.
Fucking
Cheers to
boys.
that one. Yep.
Yeah.
We totally didn't just restart that and mimic everything that we just did
No.
That was
naturally
organic.
the first time.
That was organic.
Our glasses aren't half full; they're half empty.
I will mention again because that fucking burns on the throat. That's raw. I'll get there. Okay, so
Topic of discussion.
we can jump right into it.
Actually, first, before we do, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. But before I do that, I got one thing to say. Your guys' intro is fucking awesome.
Oh,
Thank
really?
you, sir.
Whoever put that shit together, that shit is sick.
We found the song together, and then I had the idea of like throwing in the talking, and so
Yeah.
we sat there together and we kind of pieced it roughly, and then I just kind of refined it to the rest of whatever we had. But yeah, it was a fucking group effort. We got 2 or 3 hours into trying to find a song, and we were just like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, because we both really like hardcore music.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh yeah, we got to find something like rock. And every fucking song we found sounded like it was straight from a fucking Home Depot commercial.
That was one of them.
That's the royalty-free music, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we even went in depth with like trying to find one that was you paid for. Like we paid for this one.
Okay.
It was like a $30 thing, and you can use it for one channel. And we just kept finding shit that was just like too corny. It sounded cool, and then it went corny, or it started corny and went cool. And then
G chord, E chord, G chord, E chord, F chord, G chord.
So we ended up about to give up, and then it just said no. It was about 2.5 hours in, and we found this one that sounded like a bunch of noises could be added to it, like a whoosh, and then like old punching pow noises and shit.
It sounded like an old-fashioned spy movie.
It sounded legitimately like Austin Powers. And I was like, wait, what if we do something that's like more joking? And we kind of searched a couple and then got to like the 3-hour mark, and we were about to quit.
We started touching like jazzy, funky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right before we quit, we found it said like little kid beatboxing, and we clicked it, and we were like, hold on.
We both were like, this is it.
And then that was it. Like we put it all
the
together.
moment right there.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. So thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds like I'm listening to like a radio fucking show. Like it's professional as fuck.
fuck yeah. Appreciate
That's
that.
the fucking goal.
And now we have this thing. So It is really fucking weird to look over.
I know.
When you do 50,
hello, video watchers.
This being technically the 50th episode we've recorded, but this is 51st coming out. It's really weird to look over
episode because episode 0.
Fuck you. So over 100 hours of talking and just setting up in different areas and whatnot, trying to get all that right. To set this all up and look over and see ourselves on camera.
Yeah, but so who's Vince? Introduce yourself. It doesn't have to be some fucking
shit.
Extravagant, impressive intro. Just like give people the groundwork if they don't know you.
All right. I would say, well, first, my name is Vinson Rosello. My real name is Vinson, Vinson. Super fucking
Vincent.
Weird. Yeah, right.
I thought you said Vincent.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, I think the only other thing that has that name is a mountain and like a marine ship or like a Navy ship.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe that was the one that carried the Navy 6 SEALs to kill, what's his name? Osama bin Laden. So I had part of I had some help in that.
I had some help in that.
Because, they took my shit. So
they took my shit.
But
it's also a family of Vincent is a family of voice encryption devices used by the U.S. and allied military and law enforcement.
So I'm basically a Fed.
Yeah.
I'm a Fed, yeah.
Oh, no shit. Aw. Vincent, a nice guy at heart. From Urban Dictionary. A kid who might be obnoxious, annoying, and sarcastic at first sight, but once you get to know him, he's a nice guy at heart.
I really hope one of my friends didn't put that shit on there because I don't know anybody else with that same name, so that better not be me.
Oh, shit. Okay, go on.
Well, I'm from Lancaster, California, but I don't live here anymore. So I live in Fullerton now.
Mm.
I've lived in Orange County for like 3 years. I decided to leave because I didn't want to be here anymore. I wanted to change. I got the change I needed, so I got to meet new people. It took some time to adjust, and living on my own with a couple of roommates, it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I'm not known for anything else but Twitter. That's probably like the only thing that's significant about me as of right now. I got some things in the future, but as of right now, just Twitter.
Things that you want to talk about, or things?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
I'm actually interested. Like what?
Okay, so. I actually decided to drop out of school. Like, I'm so glad that my mom's not going to watch this shit because they're gonna be pissed. But
she doesn't know.
So, like, the past year, I haven't been in school. Like, the 2 years, like, I've been on and off, like, not really going.
Yeah. And,
like, dropping classes and shit. And it's kind of what I didn't want to do because I was in for computer science. And I was like, fuck this shit, bro. Like, I didn't want to be behind a desk. But the coding part was cool of it. Mm-hmm. And then I decided that I'm not going to go, and I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. And then, like, I stopped going, and I tell her, like, oh, I'm trying to crash classes every semester. I can't get in any. And, she buys the shit. I'm pretty sure she doesn't buy it, but
she says that she buys it.
Are you sure she's not going to watch this and fucking murder you?
I'm going to make sure I'm going to block her on Instagram and all this, bro. Gonna put this on my story.
But, shit.
I actually, like, found a love for food.
Oh, no shit.
For food. Like, ever since I moved out there, I had, like, when I lived in Navy, I used to eat just, like, regular American shit, like cheeseburgers.
In and out all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat, like, sushi. I didn't eat raw fish. Like, I was really super picky. Yeah. And, like, even my own, like, culture or ethnic foods, I didn't even eat.
Yeah.
Whoa,
with the exception
like that
of
picky.
a couple things. Like, I ate, like, pho, and that was about it.
Yeah. Did you have lumpia?
Yeah.
Because I remember we had lumpia in high school.
Yeah. Egg rolls and stuff like that. Like, the real simple stuff that everybody really can eat. That's what I ate.
Yeah.
And so when I moved to Orange County, I met a couple of friends, and I was like, damn, like, what is this shit? Like, all these different kinds of foods, because, like, on Instagram, there's a food hype with everything now. And so that's what I got into, and I kind of want to start a YouTube career from that, because I'm pretty influenced by a lot of, like, people like Sean Evans, like, you guys have seen Hot Ones and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like, he's a fantastic interviewer.
Yeah,
like,
he really is.
He's a really big inspiration to me, and, like, a couple other, like, food channels and stuff like that. I want to do something similar to that. I have things, like, planned out a little bit. I just gotta stop being a lazy fucking put it to paper. So
I'm glad that you can admit that, because a lot of people are like, oh, but there are things that are getting in the way. You're like, no, it's just me.
Yeah, it's just being fucking lazy. But once that shit comes to fruition, like, I think it'll be legit. I think I have, like, the mindset and just the things the intangibles that go to making it successful.
Hell yeah.
If you ever need help, you rock it.
Like, ask us, whatever.
I actually want you guys to be on it. Like, I do want it to be guest included.
What a fucking honor.
I want to bring you guys on there,
Definitely. One quick question. Is that too close to you, like his thing? Because I was going to tell you earlier, do you want to scoot over sometime?
Wait, what? Oh,
no, not Vince. Yeah, that.
is his stand too close to me?
I can like move
fine.
this
Okay.
like behind me. Here.
I
No, you're
I
good.
am
You're
big
good.
chilling. I'm
Okay,
good.
for sure.
I would say so. Hell yeah, I'm fucking with it. And we'll touch now on the topic at hand, which is you can bring it up. You're the one who brought it up originally.
Like, you know, our society, like here in America, probably in other places too, but they really normalize getting fucked up and being alcoholics at our young, like adult age. You know, like you think about it, we all talk about, oh, like I'm about to go get fucked up this weekend.
Yeah.
And then everybody's okay with it, you know. But if you were to do that shit when you're like, you know, 40, 50, people are like, damn, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that we can just separate between the two terms being like alcoholic and going to party, you know, drinking excessively. And that was what I was going to get into the first time when we were talking about it was it's not so much like alcoholism when you're drinking, you know, at a party here and there, right?
Yeah.
I think the alcoholism obviously comes from its most basic term being like people who have to drink in order to function, like functioning alcoholics or alcoholics.
Like you need to go out throughout your day. You need a beer.
But what I was going to say between that when he was saying that we kind of just accept the fact that people are alcoholics is I have friends who obviously won't mention any of them, but that drink all the time and they're like, oh, haha, he's just so funny. And it's like, no, dude, that guy's fucking depressed. He has a problem. He's drinking to get away from it. He's just funny about it. Mm-hmm. But like, no, we laugh at it because we don't think it's that big of an issue. But if he was just like, oh, I'm going to go shoot up meth and no one's going to be like, oh, ha, ha, meth.
Well, I mean, it's different, but yeah.
Different, but at the same time, it's still an abuse thing that, that people kind of just make a joke out of because everyone likes getting fucked up to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, like you said when we were chilling earlier, you're like, I get fucked up on the weekends. Wine. Yeah, exactly. You're like, I get fucked up on the weekends, but like, you're like, I don't kick back at home and just drink.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've never done. I'll probably do it once just to do it once, just to experience it. But I've never gotten drunk by myself. Like I've never just like been chilling and like I just want to get fucked up. But I want to try it just to like get the experience in. But it's never something that's like nagging at my brain.
I've gotten drunk by myself, but talking to people on the phone. So really, I wasn't by myself.
That's not even by yourself.
That's my point.
I mean, like you're chilling in your room, either watching TV or playing a video game.
It's boring as shit.
And you're just drunk.
I think when you actually do that, you'll realize like when you're in that state of being drunk, you're like, fuck. People that do this shit, they got some problems. Like, it doesn't feel right just doing that alone, you know, because it's more of a social thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Americans love doing it so much is because it's such a social thing.
Yeah, and especially like going back to, you know, us getting fucked up when we're young, like they use that excuse like, oh, it's okay, they're young, you know, that's what young people do. But I'm not saying that like, oh, I don't get fucked up all the time, but it's just weird how we normalize that whole thing. It's like, we're young, we get fucked up and it's okay because we're young.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a like obviously it would be because we have the resources for it, but it's like much more of like a first world country type thing because like Europe is just like us, if not worse.
Yeah.
Dude, my fucking friends in England, I swear to God, every other time we would be on a FaceTime call with them, fucked up. They'd be drunk out at bars or going. What's it fucking called? What's a bar called in like England?
Pub.
A pub. Yeah, they'd go out to pubs.
Pub crawls.
Yeah. And granted, like we'd be calling them at noon, and it'd be like 9 at night out there, or something close. But still, like, and especially also because the legal drinking age is lower out there. Yeah. So like our 21st birthday extravaganzas that we throw out here are their 18th birthday extravaganzas. Yeah, they're 3 years deep in the shit.
Yeah.
Even like fucking south of the border of us.
I was gonna say Ireland is where like I think a lot of fucking drunks are. That's
what
Ireland.
I think Germany.
Germany goes okay. Did you see all those Oktoberfest shit? Did you see the videos?
Dude, it was doing blow off each other's dicks and all that.
Yeah, I did see that shit.
Wild.
Like there were people fucking just randomly in front of other people. There were like dudes that butt naked just sliding across floors. I was like, what the fuck happened?
I'm not gonna hold it to you. I kind of want to go to that.
Yeah, I'm super
down
for it.
I just want to see it. Maybe not live that life.
Once I see blow coming off of somebody's dick, I'm out. Like that was the most excessive shit.
I'm staying. I'm just not doing it.
No, dude. Like I would be like instantly sober because I don't like look, go suck dick. That's fine. Do whatever you want to do. Go like do blow.
Here come the
whatever.
anti-gay rants.
No, go do whatever you want to do with coke and with dick sucking. Do not combine the two. There's no fucking you went so far, dude. That's like when what was it in Wolf of Wall Street? Doesn't he snort crack out of a fucking hooker's asshole?
Yeah, hookers.
Or blow or whatever the fuck. I'm like,
yeah.
You don't need to do that. You don't
That's
need
just
to do
going
that.
the extra mile, like especially doing off another man's dick. Like one, he's offering, and number two, like you're okay with another man's face being close to your crotch.
Yeah. No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm out.
good.
I'm sober.
I
I'm
would
going home.
probably laugh my fucking ass off if I ever saw that shit in person. I'd be like, I would be tripping the fuck out. I wouldn't leave and I wouldn't sober up, but I'd just be like, wow, you Germans are different.
Wow, can I participate in that? But yeah, Germany goes hard for Oktoberfest, but other than like, I don't know the cultures over there. I just know that Irishmen are the drunks, and that's the joke.
Yeah, that's at least a stereotype.
Yeah.
I know my friends in London, they go fucking hard, and I'm sure they're not the only ones. But like, I can't imagine like people in like second and third world countries like really going that hard all the time, unless it's like coping with trauma.
See, I actually shot a wedding for a couple that I ended up staying friends with, and really great fucking people. And their wedding was dope. They were great people, like it the whole way through. Loved it. But at the end of the night, when everyone was dancing, during like literally just dancing and drinking and eating whatever snacks were there, the groom and his groomsmen, like when he did the bouquet, or when he did the garter shit to go get the garter off of her leg, he like stripped down and he did a whole dance, and he like ripped off his vest and ripped off his shirt, and he was like dirty dancing on the floor and sliding up to her, and it was fucking sick. It was cool to like, just everyone was
he
really
grabbed his
into
best man, did a fucking quick rail off his dick.
So not that far, but when the night goes on, the groomsmen start like losing clothes and whatnot, and they're dirty dancing on each other. And I'm talking like legs wrapped around, like dirty dancing. And
What culture is this?
these are just white people.
That's a timeout.
And like I'm talking like bending each other over. And at one point, the groom was going around, and I caught a picture of it. He was going around to the tables to say thank you to everybody, and he got to his groomsman table, and he's giving him like hugs and whatnot, and he grabbed one of the guys, and he just fucking planted a big fat fucking kiss on him. And like there's a picture where they're both grabbing each other's head going in on it, and I was like, and I just kept like getting really weirded out.
Like I couldn't stop looking at it.
I was weirdly attracted. Like, fuck, I don't know what it was.
So I asked him, or he just comes up to me randomly, and he's like, you probably think majority of us are gay, if not all of us. And I was like, I'm trying to figure this out. He's like, no, this is what we do on Friday and Saturday nights. And I was like, yo, what?
You act like we don't do homies like this.
No, we do, but this was farther
This
than
was different?
This was different. I'm talking like sweaty men stripping their clothes off, like taking their shirt off and wrapping around the dudes and like fucking just
If they're comfortable with their sexuality,
No, and they
then,
were. None of them were
power
gay.
to them. Yeah,
I just
mean,
was like, that is too far.
It's like, actually, I have this theory, and I'll ask you about it. I'll get your opinion on it, Vince. So I have this theory / hypothesis about guys and their comfortability with their sexuality when it comes to other guys. And I think there's a correlation
You
between...
have to check the video.
Yeah, you do that. I think there's a correlation between like how much pussy a guy gets and how comfortable he is like joking around being gay with his friends. I've noticed that my friends, and no offense to them whatsoever, but my friends that seem to have like the most uncomfortability with any type of gay joke,
Discomfort?
or most discomfort
Get
with
the
any
least
type of
pussy.
gay joke. Huh?
Get the least pussy.
Get the least pussy. And the guys who are the most comfortable making like the raunchiest gay
Gay
jokes
shit, yeah.
get the most pussy. And I feel like it's because the more often you get it, or the more often you pull, or the more confident you are, at least in your own ability to pull, the less you trip over that shit, because you're like, I know what I got.
No, I agree with you. I think that's actually true because, like you said, you know that you're getting some twang, you know, you're getting it. So it doesn't really matter. And like, what is a dude going to call you gay for doing gay shit? You're like, I got the most pussy out of everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, not
exactly.
that you're going to say it, but you know, like, bro, I be banging chicks every weekend. You
Yeah,
know? Like,
exactly.
That's what it is. But you're right. I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration.
There was some people that I knew. I won't specify where I knew them from, because that would give it away. Regardless, there are some people that I knew that when the topic of it was actually the topic of butt play came up, but for guys. And basically, it's this group of like 20 and 30-year-old straight men all trying to debate with each other whether or not any type of butt play on a guy is gay. And me and my homie were arguing that it's not gay as long as it's not done by a dude. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but if like Ariana Grande is hitting your shit with a strap,
Vince is so fucking tuned. He tuned you the fuck out a while ago.
All I'm saying is it's not gay because you're not doing shit with a guy. But oh my God, this dude who I swear to God gets none and has no confidence in his own ability.
Can you pause just so I can ask the most important question?
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? This is just
Vince.jpg.
Cool. All right, go ahead.
That's fucking easy. So this dude who I swear is not talented with ladies.
Not a friend of yours?
Acquaintance.
Okay.
Not only does he go, no, anything like that is gay, and anything in any sort of like gay realm he is just not uncomfortable with, but he also goes further and starts his own personal rant where he's like, see, like guys like you guys that are like comfortable with that shit or okay with that shit is why we got so many gay people nowadays. Like, they're just coming out of the woodwork because like they think that this shit is okay and blah, blah, blah. He starts going off and I was like, oh fuck, I do not want to have a conversation with you.
He's definitely dry for sure. You know, his shit's Sahara Desert. He hasn't gotten pussy in the last 6 months. You know, he's really fiending for that. So, but you know, I forgot what the term for putting shit up your butt, when a girl puts something up your butt. What's
pegging?
Pegging. There you go. Yeah. It's not for everybody. I don't do it. But you know, to each his own.
Yeah, I don't think any of us here do.
Yeah,
Nick hasn't denied it yet, but we
I
won't
can
comment
see
on that.
what he's
I
saying.
was doing the sound. Yes, I do. No,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
that was a sign.
I don't. No, I would never, just because like it doesn't interest me at all. And I actually have this conversation with another group of friends.
Nick would never with anyone he knows currently.
Absolutely never in my life.
Yeah, until Bill Gates runs up with a couple bill.
Okay, when you start throwing money in there, look, you get a bill dropped in front of you, and I'm talking not a bill, $1 billion.
Yeah,
They said, I'm gonna stick my dick in your ass. Are you gonna say no? I'm talking $1 billion.
Fuck no.
Really?
I am like, bro, you know what you can do with $1 billion?
You know what you can fucking do with $1 billion?
Look, that's hush money. I'm with hush money.
I could wipe everybody's memory that knows.
No, wait, you said
still
no.
have-
You
I mean,
wouldn't?
I would definitely let him.
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
He
I
said-
heard fuck no.
No, fuck no, as in like, would you turn it down? Fuck no.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, really?
No. Okay, so
You know,
now
I'm
that
with the
that's on the
bad.
table, no, I talk with a bunch of friends about this, and I don't see a problem with like people experimenting. They do what they want to do with their lives. It's just not something that interests me. Like, I'm comfortable with myself. I know the weird shit that I'm into and the shit that I'm not. But pegging, putting things in my ass, me sucking dick, like that's not. I'm not into any of that.
You sucking dick is a kink.
No, but what I'm getting at is like the whole bi situation.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that doesn't interest me either. And people were like, well, the whole like don't bash it till you try it. First of all, wrong. But secondly, it's like, no, I just know I wouldn't be. It doesn't look appealing to me.
Just how
Not because it's gay. It's just not appealing
Yeah.
to
No,
me.
that's like just, sexuality
Yeah.
at its core. Like, just how gay people will always talk about how like, oh, like I knew I was gay at this age, and it wasn't even a question. It was just I knew it. It's the same thing with any sexuality, whether it be bisexual, straight, anything. It's just like, you know what your urges are, and you know what's the opposite of the urge, like what you resist, I guess. You know what repels you, and that is not like really hard to figure out. It's nature.
Dick is repelling.
Repelling, yeah.
There's like some things like where, there's people that are bisexual. Like they've been with women, like let's say a guy that's bisexual. They've been with women, but they kind of have an attraction for guys. And sometimes like them getting with a guy is that tipping point that brings them to the other side.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Like, it seems that like a lot of people I've noticed just through personal anecdotal experience, a lot of people will go through almost like a bisexual stage before they just go full gay. And then they're like, this is all it took for me to like kind of realize it. And it's interesting. Some people it's kind of cloudy. Some people it's not.
it's kind of like a holding room. Like, you know, like you're on the straight side and then you go into this room, kind of waiting, and then like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to the other side.
You can go to any room.
One of my brothers, so my sister had a friend who was just like full blown gay from, I don't even know what age, but she was in high school with this guy and was like, let me take your brother Chris into a room for 5 minutes and he'll come out gay. And like my brother never questioned like himself at all, but he always wondered like, is it that easy for people? Like, could somebody just kind of switch someone over like if you gave it a chance? And I always wondered, like, are there some people out there, because obviously it's not one of those things that's just like, oh, it grows on you. Some people are just born that way. Some people eventually grow into it.
Well, no, I wondered the same thing.
Because I actually know, and I know her by name. I have a friend, well, an acquaintance now, but she flipped, like, I think it was 7 or 17 different girls. Yeah. She straight up said they were straight. She had a chance with them, and they're all gay now. And I was like, how? How does that? And she's just like, you're good enough. Like, you just change their mind on it.
Well, I wonder, like, I've always wondered if someone can kind of, like, if their sexuality can be groomed in a sense.
Yeah.
And
like slowly transition you into it.
Yeah. I mean, like, there are multiple occasions where, and it's a touchy subject, but there are multiple occasions where there are gay men who have had some type of encounter with pedophilia when they're a young age. And that was enough to like permanently alter their sexuality. Yeah. And so like you wonder if that person, had they not encountered that trauma, would have stayed on a straight path.
I mean, that's one of those like this or that situations because but it's like that, like that fucking alters their brain. Mm-hmm. Like it literally, it causes the brain to have like, I don't know if it's chemical imbalances or just the trauma like fucks them up.
Yeah, just a change.
And then they grow off of it.
My wonder is the trauma that is it the trauma that changes it? Or is it just the trauma? Is it just the experience? Is it a combination of the two? Like if someone had the same thing happen, but there was no trauma involved and it wasn't like a childhood experience, would that be
Remember
enough?
The whole case per case thing that I always said?
Yeah. And then it also determines like, if somebody has a gay experience, were they already on that part of the spectrum to begin with, and that was what it took for them to see it?
Yeah.
Or was it an actual flip? Like those girls that she flipped,
were they
already like they're curious, and that's why she got a chance in the first place?
No idea.
I don't know. Part of me feels like there are things like, you know, let's say they had a regular childhood, like there was no trauma involved. Sometimes I feel like people find that satisfaction that they need in other, like, you know, in their same gender, like not necessarily like sex and all that kind of stuff, but like, let's say you went through a past of a lot of like terrible girls. Like, you know, as straight men, there are girls that you're not attracted to. Yeah. There are girls that you are attracted to. But like, let's say you go through a whole like history of women that has just been, you know, terrible to you, you've had bad relationships, and then you find a guy that has like hit all those criterias, whether or not you like dick or not, he hit all those criterias that made you attracted to him.
Yeah, as a human being, not just as like
he's a great person, and I really like want to be with him. Like he will take care of me. I feel like partly it's sometimes people like that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think people have those experiences, and I still don't think I'll ever take the stance that sexuality is like a choice. But I definitely think it's like much more malleable than people realize.
I feel like it's a choice if you really put a lot of depth and effort into it over a certain amount of time.
Well, I still wouldn't say like a choice, because like, do you think right now you could just choose to like dick?
No, but that's why I said putting depth and effort over time. Like,
would that make it a choice then, or would that make it like just malleable?
I get what you're saying.
Because if you're groomed to then like both genders, then it's not a choice. Then it's just you like both genders.
Because if we put it into perspective, like how much, because you know they say sex is really important in love life. Like how much does the sex really matter to, you know, like if you're gay? So let's say you both can get each other off. You know, like you can get that satisfaction, but is that really all that you're attracted to? It's like you're more attracted to that person and who he is and how he treats you. You know? Like I feel like that kind of plays more into just liking like dick or pussy alone, you know?
It's interesting because we always have these conversations with straight people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would definitely be interesting. I would love to have this conversation with anybody who's anything other than straight.
Yeah.
I also like feel like there's always that like kind of like bubble of politeness that you don't want to burst. Like you don't want to step on anyone's toes. You don't want to offend anybody. So having someone who isn't
one of our guests coming up?
Yeah. So that if that comes up, but whether they be bi, straight, gay, and I think pansexuals in there, I know zero about that, so I'm not going to even make any claims. But if you have somebody on the show like that, you want to be polite, you want to be nice, you want to be good hosts, and so you don't want to like step on any toes and be like, so do you think this way? Does this go through your head?
Yeah.
And like we have no problem talking about it with straight guys because we're all fucking straight guys, so it's easy to relate.
Of course.
But yeah, it definitely would be a fascinating conversation.
Real like small tangent that we don't even have to go in depth on, but just something that I've kind of literally just gotten rid of in my vocabulary is I've never understood why there was gay and lesbians and like why there was this separation. I'm just like, no, it's just gay. Like I eventually just stopped saying it. Like now I'm just like, oh, she's gay.
I don't know. I never saw a problem with the word.
I don't see a problem with it. I'm just saying like it was literally the most useless fucking term.
Well, I didn't even see it as useless. I was just like, oh, one refers most of the time to men,
like he, she kind of thing.
Yeah, but can be universal, and the other one is primarily women.
Yeah, because you can't call a gay guy lesbian, but you can call a girl gay. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So in my vocabulary, in my own thing, I was just like, just say, are you gay? Like,
I think it's because over the years, gay has actually become more of an umbrella term.
Yeah.
For the entire like queer community, whereas since lesbian is directly involved with one gender, then that's why it didn't become an umbrella term.
Yeah, of course.
Also, I think that as a whole, and I think this is actually a elephant in the room with a lot of people for obvious reasons, but nobody talks about it unless on topic, is people are way more cool with lesbians than they are with gay people, with gay guys. Because guys typically have no problem with watching girls get with each other. Yeah. But as soon as a guy who has any type of prejudice sees two guys getting at it, it's like nothing. Don't want anything to do with it.
I get what you're saying.
And so like if you see two girls making out in public, it's like for most straight guys, it's like, ooh. You see two guys making out in public, most straight guys, it's like, oh.
Well, and I think that just solely has to depend upon like obviously them being insecure in themselves, but just the fact that they like women.
I get it. Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to see guys making out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I think it goes the same way for women too.
Yeah.
I think women are more comfortable seeing girl on girl than they are comfortable seeing guy on guy. That I can't explain as much because I don't have the
that's actually really interesting.
But I've asked a lot of girls like that, and they are way more comfortable seeing girl on girl than they are seeing guy on guy.
It's the whole girls like boys thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think the word gay has been used way more often because you talk about gay rights. No one ever says lesbian rights because guys you'll hear, I guarantee we could go to a small town in whatever state you want to go to and there will be some dude who's like, I ain't got a problem with lesbians. It's the gay dudes I don't like. I guarantee it. And it's because guys like that shit. And so that's why I think gay was kind of overcame all the other terms as like the umbrella term, because when talking about gay rights, when talking about gay discrimination, when talking about that entire topic, the prejudice mainly lies on the guys. It doesn't rely as much on the girls because you have much less pushback on that side. I think that's primarily just because the way nature sets up the two genders is different. And that's an entirely different topic, but I feel like that on my hunch, that's why we typically society typically leans more problematically on the gay men. And that's why the word gay is used more often. And that's why it kind of became the term we use on everything.
I kind of feel like it's because like the way our media and like movies and stuff like that, like a woman's anatomy is more shown on screen than a male's anatomy besides the abs, because you'll more likely see boobs and ass on TV and movies.
100%.
You'll never see a dick. I think it's kind of like taboo for us to kind of see dicks, and especially you never see guys like making out like in movies back in the old days, but you're used to seeing women naked, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like guys love good ass and tits. Girls love good ass and tits. Even gay guys appreciate good ass and tits.
And out of
You
the
know how many
three,
fucking gay guys I've been around that were just like, yeah, she's hot. Like,
yeah,
all right.
and so like, and also like, again, like it's a nature thing. Like girls, like I don't think this is like, I don't know, outside of like PC correctness or whatever, but when it comes to laws of attraction, women, their best like weapon in their arsenal is looks, and guys' best weapon in their arsenal is like ability to provide, whether that be through money, whether that be through leadership, whether that be through wit. Those are like the typical traits that women find attractive in a guy, and the
Guys are just shallow pieces of shit.
well, it's not even the guy's choice though. Like guys don't get to choose what they find most
neither do girls,
appealing.
But
and that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
it's a nature thing. And so the thing that will always pull a guy's attention no matter what is physical attractiveness. And that's why there's such a huge beauty industry on women. And with men, it's nowhere near as deep.
Sex sells kind of thing, like that whole ordeal.
Yeah, and so that's why you'll see on to get into your point, that's why you'll see on like Hollywood and on media all of like these beautiful women's bodies, because like that's just like intrinsically in most people is just like women's bodies are beautiful, men's bodies are not.
Yeah.
Even sculpted, like no one wants to see a dick.
No.
That's true.
No.
And so like, but like a girl could be like average body, but you see tits. And so
it's also one of those things that like I've realized over time that because we're always clothed, right? Whenever parts are showing, whether it's tits, ass, or dicks, you cannot help but go.
You
like,
just look
immediately.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you walk through a museum and you see like an old school fucking Roman statue just sculpted, and his dick's out. And the first you walk into the room, it's like dick. Like it's immediately
in your face.
and then you go, oh, I don't want to fuck, and you just look back
Yeah.
again. You can't help it, especially because one, I don't know if you know this, but like small dicks back then were actually
appealing,
appealing,
especially in Greek culture.
In Greek culture, and all their statues, dicks are small, and you're
so
just
if you guys
like,
want to know where everyone would go if they had a time machine, it's where they're most appealing.
But God, I wonder what they did with like people who had oversized dicks.
Mutant.
Kill him, burn him at a stake.
Burn him at the stake. Witch.
Stone him.
Stone him.
Stone that man. But to completely fucking change gears. And Vince, here we go.
Here we go.
I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm a little
Check
scared.
your hand.
Yes. This.
Yep.
For the people who don't see video,
Okay. For you people that, I don't know, you should be watching this shit on video anyway. But
We put a lot of effort into
yeah, for real. Like, you know, we live in 19. Yeah, man. Just fucking watch the video. You got YouTube and shit on your phone. Okay, I have a vape in my hand. What about it?
what's your opinion?
Opinion about like what they're talking about in the news and stuff?
Just vaping in general.
Okay, so
We'll get to the news later.
So I don't know if you guys know, but I think in LA County they did ban anything, any flavored tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
So that not only includes like kind of jewel pods, stuff like that, vape products, but even menthol cigarettes, which are like the minty cigarettes. So my take on it is the way the news have been portraying it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have been dying from the shit, they've been smoking jewel pods just because we don't know what's in them. Like they sell it to you. It comes like the flavor and the strength percentage. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You take it as it is and you smoke it, you get your buzz, whatever, move on. The other stuff that people have been dying from is like, you know, the weed cartridges.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those carts like,
It has like vitamin E acetate in it, right?
yeah. Like, you know, have you ever seen like fucking cart nights and shit, Mario Karts, like stuff that is marketed towards kids, like have really cool, colorful packaging. They want that because they sell them like, oh, it has 102% THC and weed in it, when we all know that's not fucking true because you're buying it for like $10. That's the shit that's killing the kids. And you know,
because they're getting
Yeah.
whack shit.
because like, you know, when you go to high school, like people talk about smoking weed all the time. Like everybody wants to get high nowadays, especially because it's popularized. But that's like, you know, if you're not 21, you have no access to weed like that because you can't go to a dispensary. And the only person you get access it from is the person that's selling this fucking bullshit. That's the stuff like
on
you
the black
said.
market.
My
Yeah.
cousin in Seattle, he took a picture of a vape shop that just opened. And literally, I think it was they opened on, let's call it like the 13th of a month. On the 14th, everything became illegal over there. It was like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
gone.
They can't do anything with it. They can't resell it. They can't return it. It's just
Yeah, they
That's
fucked
it.
up. They fucked up.
Yeah. So Why did you start smoking that?
So I think it's pretty much like everybody's story that they get into like smoking cigarettes. Like they are around it all the time.
Yeah.
They tried it. For cigarettes, I can't understand as much because they don't taste good and they don't smell good either. With these, I get it because they come in fruity flavors.
Yeah.
They taste good. They give you a little buzz. I like it because of the buzz. Like, you get that lightheaded feeling. It's not something for everybody. But the difference is these have a lot more nicotine than cigarettes do.
Yeah, because they can just choose what's in it.
Shit ton. Like me, I have 50. That's like one of the higher ones.
You're at 50?
Yeah, 50. So like if you were to hit this, you would cough your lungs out.
Yeah.
But because I've had it for such a long time, I'm used to it. And it's one of those things where if you're an addictive person, you definitely cannot quit it. It's one of the hardest things to get off of. For me, I'm going to quit it once I finish this juice. Everybody says like, oh, I'm going to quit this and that.
Quit.
But like I want to see how it changes my body because I've been vaping for like a year.
So you're going to see the withdrawals.
Yeah.
The headaches, the shakes, all that
Because
stuff.
one of the things was I wanted to understand how addictive these things work. Because I'm not a very addictive person because I get bored of shit real fast. And so I get it. Like it's always in your hand.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first things that you hold. Like you low key, if anybody has a vape, like you kind of freak out when you don't have it on you.
It's like a phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that same exact way. It's like, oh, fuck, where'd I put it at? Even though it's only $30, it's like, where'd I put it? It's one of those things that you're attached to.
Are you slowly getting off of that, or are you just going to burn it out and cold turkey it?
I can cold turkey it.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
I stopped for about 3 months.
Okay.
Like I was on the 50 Nick, and then I was like, let me see if I can quit. I put it away, and I didn't have any like cravings of it at all.
What brought you back?
I just like my friends had it again. But that's also one of the problems that brings people back.
You
is
associate
people
with.
you're around,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then because another thing for me is I never really seen a problem with it because there are those people that have been smoking those big ass like,
Vape
box
mods.
vapes. Yeah. And they haven't died. Like nothing bad has happened to those people. It's only been as of recent when the Juul came out and like
It's the weird cartridges that people get with weed.
That's the stuff that's killing the people. So I'm pretty sure it does have like harmful effects in the long run.
Like honeycomb lung.
I'm sorry?
Honeycomb lung?
Yeah. So it's stuff that like, especially because these are super new. They haven't, I would say they haven't even been out for more than like fucking 10 years. Like there's just not enough research.
Yeah.
Like you won't find out till you're older, especially like how they had cigarettes and stuff.
Yeah.
They thought it was harmless.
Yeah, people smoking cigarettes from 20 to 30 were fine.
And then they find out fucking later in the years that they have cancer and shit like this and like, oh fuck, it's bad.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna find out later on, which is kind of the one of the things that scare me away because there are stuff that's in it. Like they tell you what's on the label, but I'm pretty sure like, if it's not oxygen, it's not good for your body, regardless.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
so nothing should be really ingested.
No, and it's one of those things that I guess when I look at it, I don't see a point
Yeah.
because when it comes down to like addiction of things, I go back and forth with my answers on it, but I just look at that and I'm just like, that doesn't seem hard to stop.
Yeah.
Like if you look at something like drinking, we all know what the effects of drinking does. Too much drinking can damage your liver. Some people can get fucked up off of like 1 or 2 beers because like their body doesn't process it right. There is a bunch of fucking factors and a bunch of research behind it. But when I look at something that like I know nothing about that is potentially dangerous for my body, I'm not going to go do it.
Yeah.
Like here, but I'm also the person that says the second that Neuralink comes out, I fucking put it right in my head. And I'm like, so I go back and forth. That's what I'm saying. Like I constantly have this battle with it.
I think the biggest cultural roadblock for a lot of people with juuling, vaping, all of that is the association it has with cigarettes. The fact that it is called an e-cigarette that is used to get off of cigarettes. I think if cigarettes never were a thing and those came out, everybody would be doing them. I think
You think so?
Yes, because if the reason people don't do it is because of nicotine. And when we think of nicotine, we think of tobacco. And when we think of tobacco, we think of all the harmful effects tobacco has. That is a direct correlation or association that people put on it. I think if that was never a thing, if tobacco was treated the same way that any other substance that gives you a stimulus was treated, and these vapes came out as this new product that was just like someone invented a new way to ingest this drug to make you feel a little lightheaded, a little buzz, and get you through your day, I think everybody would treat it like coffee.
Well, yeah, that's the same idea as when cigarettes came out. Like no one
exactly.
Knew. So it's the same shit.
Yeah,
it's
and I think like if
taking
coffee,
out the first step.
I think if coffee was previously rather than like the coca beans being brewed and turning into a drink. I think if people ground them up and smoked them over the long run and then got cancer, and then coffee came out as a drink, a lot of people wouldn't drink it because of its association to the bad past it had. And I think that's why, personally, that's why I don't touch vaping.
Yeah.
Like it very well, we could be in our 60s and they could come out with a study that says like vaping is completely harmless to you. Nicotine doesn't affect you once you're a fully grown adult. It is literally like caffeine.
Yeah.
Then I would have been like, shit.
But does
I didn't know any
caffeine
better.
at a certain point doesn't it fuck with your heart at some point?
Well, yeah,
caffeine has its negative effects.
if you take too much.
Yeah.
But like what I'm getting at is like if you have like a handful of cups a week, like
caffeine's a mild stimulant, right?
Yeah, if you have like 5 to 7 cups of coffee a week, you're going to be fine, and you'll be
5 to 7
okay.
cups of coffee a day.
Yeah, that's when it gets
You're
fucked.
gonna die.
And so if you have a nicotine level of like 10, is it measured in milligrams?
So it depends. So with the different juices, like I'm not sure about the other juices, but stuff that goes in here, these are nicotine salts. So they're higher concentrated nicotine, which means you have to ingest less and you get a bigger buzz, you know?
Yeah. So, but what is the unit of measurement they use? So when you say
Milligrams.
50 milligrams,
Yeah.
okay. So let's say someone who smokes or someone who vapes with 10 milligrams of nicotine is probably much less at risk for whatever potential long run effects that someone who's doing 50 is. And so in the same way that if you drink too much coffee all the time, it could have awful effects on your heart and probably your brain. It'd probably be the same way if you drink just a little bit of coffee. And so if the study came out several decades down the line, they're like, we've accumulated all this data and we found out that vaping is totally harmless as long as you're a full grown adult and you're not developing. Then I think everyone who didn't do it for those reasons, because of its association with big tobacco, with cigarettes and everything like that, a lot of people would probably start doing it.
Yeah.
And
I
so
can agree to that.
Yeah. And so that's why I think like people like us have such an easy time not doing it. It's just because we can look at it and go, vape means nicotine, means cigarette, means bad.
Because we have background and research and everything else.
Because like I 100% agree. Like I think this shit is fucking terrible for
I was
you.
about to say, if you had a button in front of you and you press it and you never did it again, would you press it?
And I can never do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends how I feel personally. Like if I want to stop, I can stop. But it's because I didn't want to quit. Like I just like I enjoyed getting my buzz. But then now I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm a little bit over it. I don't want to spend money on this stuff anymore. So
Dude, that's another thing.
It's a huge waste of fucking money.
That's so much money a week that you could be like just putting away in your bank account.
See, the thing that I think what's most dangerous about these, aside from like, you know, nicotine being addictive, like they say that's the most dangerous is the nicotine, but it also increases your heart rate, which is fucking terrible for you.
That's why nicotine is addictive. Yeah.
And so it's bad.
Or that's why it's dangerous, my bad.
Yeah. And so like also it's the peers because, you know, think about cigarettes. They smell bad. Like I said, they stink and shit. Nobody wants to ingest because it burns. But these, everybody has them because they're easy to smoke.
Dude, if somebody blows cigarette smoke in your face, that's an instant fight. If somebody blows vape in your face, it's a funny joke.
Because it smells good.
Yeah.
It smells
it's like,
good.
oh, stop. You just blew like Sour Patch Kids in my face.
Yeah.
But if you blow cigarette smoke in someone's face, it's like a fucking that's a fade on site.
I had to think about, like, I was stuck in that thought of, like, because I just overthink it. So I just smoke, period. And was like, nah, just fucking put that somewhere else. But yeah, you're right. It is more.
If the homie came up to you and just blew some, like, nice, like, cool watermelon in your face, I'm like, get this shit out of here.
Yeah.
But if somebody's, like, smoking a fucking.
You're losing your shit.
Yeah, a cig outside, and you're like, right in your face. Get out of here.
All this talk about nicotine is making me want a beer. Do you guys want a beer?
I'll take one. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fuck it.
I mean, especially and like here, it's widely accepted, or I wouldn't say it's widely used in Orange County. Like, you know, with around all the Asian people, it's kind of the culture. Like they all do that from Orange County, San Diego, San Jose, like anywhere in the Bay. Like everybody does it. It goes along with like getting fucked up every weekend. It's kind of the culture. Like
it's moved into a lot of cultures, dude.
Yeah.
High schoolers fucking love that shit.
That's the worst part. Is because they can't even buy the shit. You got to be 21 to buy, and you know they're people that they're somehow getting it. They're getting it from their older siblings and stuff like that.
There's always somebody who will cash a check to buy some minor a fucking cigarette or vape. What do you feel? How do you feel about them upping the law from 18 to 21 with any nicotine products?
Good. The higher the better. Like I really, even with alcohol, like I wanted them to, you know, there was a bill they were trying to pass like a year ago where they were trying to extend the time to buy alcohol to 4 a.m.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, the normal cutoff time, you can't go to a 7-Eleven or any liquor store or any store and buy alcohol after 2. But then they wanted to extend that to 4 in the morning. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you want people to really be out there still fucking drinking?
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem if you're out still buying alcohol at 4 a.m. Unless you are from out of town, have just got off your flight, and are prepping for a party.
Yeah.
You should not be buying alcohol at
Like,
that time.
how, like, for what reason would you want to fucking extend it to 4? To have people keep drinking? Like, when you already start drinking at like 9 or 10 o'clock, you want that shit to go to 4 a.m.? You know, people don't have limits like that, you know?
Yeah, dude. I think anything past like 2 a.m., if you're still drinking, you're either a celebrity at the club or your shit is going to go down a hill fast.
Oh, yeah. Nothing's good.
Thank you, sir.
Classy.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Corona.
Yeah, brought to you by Corona and
And
Sixto wine.
Sixto Chardonnay.
Oh, dude, this fucking wine is bomb.
I like it.
So I have a topic of discussion that kind of falls around the same realm,
Oh, you can go fuck yourself.
and I find it super interesting.
Thank
I
you
can't
for
remember.
ignoring that.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it. It's literally our outro. What the fuck? So, and it's such an interesting topic. It's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but
You like those?
yeah, I mean, those are the ones that people talk about the least.
I don't want to hear it.
It has to go around the topic of there being a legal age, and I can't remember if we've talked about this yet, but there being a legal age when it comes to being a minority and an adult, where there is literally a period where 5 minutes ago, if somebody were to have sex with you, they would go to prison, and 5 minutes now, it is completely fine. I find it so odd that we put that like legal age like on 18 for someone from being a legal minor to a legal adult. And me bringing this up, I'm going to go right away with, before I go into it, saying I have no idea what I think a good age for a legal adult would be, but I find it like really fucking odd that like we can put that so many repercussions around that age, and it literally like flips a switch as soon as the clock hits midnight. And now so much shit is different.
Huh.
And I find it really interesting because like we were talking about the legal age for tobacco products or nicotine products in general being moved from 18 to 21. And I thought it was a great idea. And everybody always complains about that shit. That everyone who does complain about that shit always complains about like, oh, I can get drafted to war, but I can't go buy a cigarette. And if like I can get drafted at 18, but I can't get drafted at 21. And I wonder where the thought process around that happened, like where people like just kind of pinpointed. Like imagine being in the room where the decision is made that 18 should be respected as an adult, and 17 in 364 days.
Do you know the
should not
history
be.
of it or no?
No, I don't. But I just find it super trippy because like if you look at a girl and you know, like let's say you know your homie's like 25, 26 and he's banging a 17-year-old. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird,
Yeah.
and it's fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then she turns 18
It's okay.
and then it's okay. Why?
Even if she's like
It's
17
the
and 3/4.
same girl.
Yeah.
It's the same girl.
Yeah.
But now she's just legally
minutes
an
apart,
adult.
yeah.
Yeah. When the fuck do people care about laws that much?
I remember making that joke when like we were younger of just like, oh, like if she's 18 and you're this age, like at least she's legal. And people say it now, and like, yes, I get it. It's she's an adult. She's considered a legal adult. It's fucking weird.
Yeah,
but
but, like,
I
if-
still get weirded out by it.
Yeah, like if a 40-year-old man is banging a 17-year-old, you're like, lock him up. If a 40-year-old man is banging that same exact girl, but a week later on her birthday, you're like, damn, that's just weird.
Yeah, it's just weird. And people get
It's just weird.
I mean, there is a very small percentage of people that are somewhat like me where they're just like, no, that's just still fucking gross. Like that's not, but yeah, the legal part behind it.
The legality to it just makes it odd.
Yeah, it is very.
18 is a weird number because you think about it. You were in high school.
Yeah, and you just got out.
You still haven't even learned everything.
I
Like,
graduated at 18.
Yeah.
Some people graduate.
Yeah,
like they have
18.
6 months of being 18 in high school, depending on when you started.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't understand that because it's, for me, I would say like, hey, if a 46-year-old is sleeping with a 21-year-old, whatever.
I still think that's weird.
I don't care at that point.
I think that's weird as fuck, dude. Because
that's 3 years.
There's
into
money
like
involved.
The real world.
There
and
has
whatnot.
to be. No, just like, dude, that's younger than me. Banging
I
someone
get
like
it.
our parents' age, I just think it's weird. Like intergenerational sex to me is weird, unless it's some fucking porn. Like it's just weird.
Unless it's some point.
Because then it's just a job. But like, or if you're some type of sex worker. But like, if I have a friend who was born in 1996 and they're banging someone from 1976, it's weird.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I think that, like, at least when you're 18, you're still pretty young.
Still a
but when you're
kid.
21, I think you should be responsible enough to make rational decisions.
No, you
You've
definitely
had 3
should.
Years. He's just saying that age
I think
gap.
you're
Yeah,
rational.
it's definitely weird,
Yeah,
though.
I just think
Weird.
like seeing someone of that age getting sexual with someone else of
What
that
about
age.
like 30 and 60?
That's still weird as fuck. Oh my god.
Okay, so it is just it's just the age.
Dude, 30 and 60, because 30, you are 1 year out of your 20s. You still looking bomb. You're still in your prime. 60, you're getting gray. You're looking like a fucking senior citizen.
Getting close to retirement, buddy.
Depending on who you're looking at, I don't know. In my head,
Dude, the only 60-year-olds that I would bang are celebrities and rich people who can afford the lifestyle and the procedures to still not look
I see
60.
it this way: if I'm
Oprah?
60 and for some reason I'm single, and I'm looking at other 60-year-old women, I'm like, I'm looking at a 30-year-old, I'm like, yo.
No, I totally understand that perspective
Yeah.
of being older, looking at younger people who are in a better physical shape than you and thinking you are much more sexually attractive.
Yeah.
But just the instance in itself, from the perspective of a 22-year-old, that is fucking odd. It is
no.
so peculiar. And
I know, I know someone who dated someone that was close to their parents' age.
I've heard of that shit
And
too.
I was just like, yeah. See, I guess
also-
it's situational
it
because, like,
is
when I look at Leonardo
context
DiCaprio,
matters.
Leonardo DiCaprio is, I think, close
Exactly.
to his 50s,
Yeah.
and dating like somebody
20-year-olds
that's
all the
20,
time.
young 20s, and I'm
A
like,
lot of that celebrity
yo.
industry, they're like that too.
And but that's the thing is like context matters hugely. If my friend, any friend who's a girl who's 22 and is like, yeah, I'm dating this guy and he has grandkids. He's like 55, and granted, it's pretty young for grandkids, but the kids could be in their infancy. Regardless, if they're dating some random 55-year-old who's just like a mechanic, I'm like, fucking why? Like, why? But if someone's like, I'm dating Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
So here's how I'll put it, because I thought about it a little bit more. Depending on the person's physical state and their mental state, it's fine. There are 60-year-olds out there that can outrun me.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm
if-
sure the
Like, when I
fucking
think of Leonardo
Podfather could
DiCaprio,
out endure anything compared to us.
when I think of like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I bring him up mostly just due to the fact that he was one of the people that was trying to be shut down, and the world was like,
There was
yo,
controversy over
no.
his dating life, yeah.
But more recently, I followed him because I don't know why I didn't, and he's very active in like saving the world, the environment, everything, all of that.
He's
all the
doing good with
fires.
his money and power.
He's literally at the fucking top, dude. He is probably one of the most active people out there right now.
He's like Ashton Kutcher.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, that's a different thing. But like Leonardo DiCaprio is active. He is successful as shit. He is, when I say active, I mean he is always fucking out there. He is, I mean, just honestly, the active and successful as shit. I don't know about his physical
Well,
state,
yeah,
but
those-
that go date somebody that's, the age doesn't matter at that point. But 60 and you're falling apart, and then a 20-year-old
Yeah.
comes in and wants to start fucking you, there's something wrong.
So
Exactly.
you think physical shape matters more than like financial shape?
What are we talking about in age wise?
Like regardless, like, you know, if you look good enough.
Yes.
Like
Are we
if
talking
you're-
about older
if you're-
guys?
Yeah, like let's say you're an older guy. If you're attractive,
Yes.
is
I think it plays
is
a
that
huge
more
role.
okay than
Yeah.
like whether you have money or not?
Dude, seriously plays a huge role.
Yeah.
And it's odd because physical attractiveness, like I said before, at least in people of youth, isn't the primary attraction when it comes to guys. But when thinking about it now, the older you get, the less weird it is if you're dating somebody significantly older than you if they look great.
Yeah.
If like, because 60 is a very interesting age. I know 60-year-olds who are ripped and you can see their abs and they have a stronger jawline than me.
Is it your trainer?
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah. Old trainer.
Old trainer,
I don't
yeah,
work with
yeah.
them anymore. But I know 6-year-olds that are fucking in shape out of their mind and have been that way their entire lives and look really, really good for their age. And then we also know people in their 20s that look repulsive.
Yeah.
And so I think that context plays a huge role. Like if someone's going to date Leonardo DiCaprio, it's a handsome fucker right there.
And this is where I always use the cop out of like it's case per case. Like there are people who care about physical over financial, and people who care about financial over physical, and people who want a balanced life, and it goes all over the place. I literally know people. I actually dated somebody that stated that they didn't care about physical features, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. But they opened up about it, and smell that?
Smells like cap.
It smells like cap.
So, but I always thought it was bullshit too, especially because like in a no like cocky or whatever way, it's more inconfident. Like I don't think I'm a bad looking dude whatsoever, and she was dating me, and I was like, so when you first met me, you just thought my personality was great, or did you walk in and think that guy was hot? Like what was it? And she was like, well, it's different. And I'm like, no. You either stick to what you're saying or you're wrong.
Then it's contextual.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. I also talked to a few people where they're just like, yeah, I'm all about personality. Like looks don't really. I'm like, but there has to be an initial thing there.
How do you get to talk to them first?
Yeah,
like,
I was like, if you see a fucking
personality.
troglodyte, and I'm talking like an actual troll, somebody that lives under a bridge and is a troll, are you going to walk up to that
you have
person,
a good personality,
and be like,
Dude,
do you want to talk for like 5 minutes? I'm talking repulsive, where you go, huh. Like when you see them, you're going to walk up to them and wonder what their personality's like. And then you're going to find out it's A+, and you're going to wake up to that person and be like, oh God, every morning? No,
Bullshit.
no, absolutely not.
Dude,
When I say troglodyte, which is one of my favorite words.
The word troglodyte is what fucking kicks me over every goddamn time you say it.
But
Oh my
just
God.
when I say that, I'm not actually talking about a human being. I'm talking about an actual troll. Like, if you're saying personality matters, then like as they can.
Everyone knows the golden rule when it comes to attraction. It's
sure?
looks catch the eye and personality makes them stay.
Not in their book.
That's how it works. And if you're any other way, you're either better than everybody, or you're
lying.
or you're fucking lying.
Get the
Yeah.
Well, Nick, I would do. I think you're handsome, and I would do coke off your dick.
I do coke off your dick. I can't even fucking say it.
So question. What's the oldest you would date a woman? And I don't mean fuck. I mean date, because those are two different things. We'll go with both, actually. What's the oldest you'd fuck a woman? Doesn't matter. How old would you fuck a girl, and how old would you date a girl / woman, whatever?
To fuck, I would say limitless.
I can't fucking. I fucking love that answer so
That
much.
bitch could be in her grave, and I don't give a fuck if it got 2 legs and a vagina. I'm fucking.
What did he say?
I said, "What's the oldest you would fuck a woman, and what's the youngest, or what's the oldest you would date a woman?" And he goes, "To fuck, limitless."
Bro, if she was in that grave, I'd knock the dust right off that pussy and fucking hop right in that hole. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my fucking god!
Christ,
In all
Vince.
seriousness, I don't think like age. It doesn't matter too much. If I'm attracted, I'd fuck.
So if this bitch is like in a walker and old and
okay,
She gotta be
shaggy-
attractive.
But
Like
what he said is if
Yeah.
he's attracted.
So if she's keeping her shit looking
Jennifer
good.
Aniston turns 70 and comes to
Are
me.
you? Oh, I thought you were saying she was about to turn 70. I was like, you're lying.
No, she's like 50 or 55. If she
looks
came
fantastic.
up, yes,
She looks
she
good.
came up to me at 70 and was like, "Hey, I want to fuck you."
Knock the dust off this.
dust off this pussy. I would be like, "Yo, how? Where?
Nick's
when?"
no.
I'd be like right here in public in the middle of the fucking sea. Sure, 100%. So I get what you're saying. If they're attractive, the age
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Betty White not knocking dust off that pussy because
Put that. I'll
it's
put my
Betty
Swiffer
White.
away, bro. Hell no.
I'm sorry.
No
Are you?
taste in an instant. No, I'm just kidding.
I've never seen Betty White in her youth years. I feel like she's been old her whole life.
No.
Like, I feel like she's looked like
I've
that.
seen pictures, and then she was pretty good looking.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston
Right.
is how old?
It's kind of like, you guys know who Rob Lowe is? Like,
Yeah.
he was like attractive when he was
Good looking as
young,
fuck.
and he aged really well. Like,
He definitely aged really
Yeah,
well.
right.
Jennifer
really good.
Aniston is 50. Betty White is what, like
83? What's your
plus
guess?
some?
Betty White age.
It don't matter as long as the money is right. If she give me that money,
How old is she?
How old do you think Betty White
how
is?
old? Fuck.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about.
We
fucking
ain't
her
talking
anymore.
about Cooch for the second, bro.
I say 89.
I say 83.
88.
97!
Holy fuck!
God damn, she's pushing fucking a Benji almost. Holy shit. Fuck.
Oh my god! I mean, I win, but holy shit! Back then, though, I want to see her then.
We're gonna have an iPhone 13 and she's gonna turn 100 years old.
Oh my
Oh
god.
fuck!
Wait, when does she turn? When's her birth month? What if it's in December and she's pushing 98 this year?
She is turning
She's rocked the short hair like her whole
Yeah.
life.
January
for real.
17th.
Oh, so she's about to hit 98 in a few months.
22. Hey, bitch!
Oh my
You've
God.
seen everything.
Yeah, she's been through it all, bro. She was through the World Wars, fucking damn near Civil War.
Look up who was the president in 1922.
Fuck,
I hope you're in good health, though, if you're listening to this, Betty White.
Yeah, Betty White never
I
died.
hope you're all
Please.
right.
dude! When they post up that shit of like, can't believe she died, and then like it's a link to like a big fat black dick. I'm like, that's cool. Warren G. Harding was
Warren G. Harding and everyone after him and every fucking black and white portrait you can picture of dead presidents.
God,
been
dude.
through it
She
all.
went through it all.
Would you guys rather?
She was not hot back then. What are you talking about?
Really?
No.
I'm going off
I
memory.
gotta see. Hold on, I'm coming.
Yeah, you come over here because I can't turn any of this shit. She's not hot.
What's the verdict, Vince?
You're right. She's actually rocked the short hair her whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
but
She-
is she bad? Or
good
was
Lord,
she bad?
I know that's not her. That can't be her. It might actually be her.
She's not bad, but she ain't. I don't think she was hot.
Yeah, she's not.
She had the
Damn, that's a
facial
tragedy.
features. She had the facial features. I'll say that.
But I mean, it's Betty White, and that doesn't really matter. Yeah, you're. Nah.
Interesting.
No.
Would you guys rather die younger than your friends or older than your friends? Like, would
I'm
you
outliving everybody.
would you rather outlive your friends or die before seeing all your friends die?
Depends if I'm in good health. I don't want to.
No, like it's a peaceful death, regardless. I'm just saying, would you rather go through
seeing all your friends
seeing
die?
all your friends die and speaking
you
at all their
die
funerals, and like basically like kind of being like Betty White in a sense and living, knowing that like you don't have any of your old
She's
friends
seen
anymore.
everyone
She's
die.
watched everyone
Shit.
she's cared
All
about
her
die.
closest
She's
friends.
probably watched her kids die before she
probably
has.
watched her
shit.
mom die.
Dude, if her kids
Oh.
have bad hearts, and she had them at 25, they'd die at like what, 72?
Damn.
She's still pushing.
Yeah, so like they're
Barely.
like, so would you want to be that old, or would you rather die and not go through the losses over and over and over again?
I'd rather outlive all of them.
Yeah?
I appreciate my life, so I'd rather be here living.
What about you, Nick?
To see it all.
I'm just gonna kill all of you anyway, so I'm gonna outlive you.
Okay.
I'm gonna die at 60 anyway, so it don't matter.
Die at 60. Yeah, I'd probably want to outlive everybody too. We're all selfish pricks.
Yeah, fuck it. I like my life. I have no problem with my life right now. And on top of that, like, death is a part of life. It sucks. It hurts. I had a friend die last year. That shit sucked. But I don't know.
Life
I don't
goes
want to
on.
die young.
No, never. But I'm just saying, like,
Like if we were all 87 and I had to die at 86, fine. But like if I had to die now so I don't have to see anything else.
No. I meant literally like you're in your 70s and your friends are dying, rather than you die in your 70s and your friends
I'm
watch
70,
you.
kill me. I don't give a fuck. That's when I don't care. But like
Really?
if you're telling me like die sooner, like in my 30s, so that I don't have to see my friends die after that.
fuck
Like
no. Fuck
let's just
that.
say like every friend from that point forward dies every year after that.
I got no
Jesus
friends.
Christ.
Make it stop.
Please, for the love of
Like
God.
Uzi said, all my friends are dead.
Oh, no. But no, like if we're in our 30s, but if we're in our 70s, 80s, doesn't fucking kill me first. I don't give a shit. I honestly, okay, so here's a question that I ask people. I'll start with Vince. Do you see yourself living to a certain age or past a certain age? Do you see a time limit, or is it just kind of like, I'm going to die in my 90s?
I don't really know, because the way that I've been taking care of my body, I don't think, I'm probably not going to continue doing
At
this.
this
but-
rate, it's all downhill.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm fucking, the time is shortening, but I don't want to be like old, and I want to be able-bodied. Like if I'm still alive in like my 90s and I'm bedridden, like just fucking pull the plug.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I think we have the huge fucking advantage, as long as nothing goes haywire. We have the huge fucking advantage of being in our 70s and our 80s when technology is at a level that we've never fucking seen before.
There's a certain part of me that feels like we're going to hit
A roadblock?
No, we're going to hit something where it's like, oh, by the way, we don't have to die for like twice the amount of time.
Yeah.
I have this.
Imagine life expectancy by the time you're 80 is 120.
But like when I hit my teenage years and all the different technology and the ramp at which one of my teachers had said, he was like, Polda. He had said like the 1960s technology was here, and then it was like 70s, 80s,
It's
90s,
exponential.
and then it was, he said at 2000, and we were in 2012, he said by 2015, 2020, every single day a new piece of technology will come out. He's like, it's just going to go straight up from there. And
yeah,
we get
because
a new
the more
iPhone every year, we get new phones, we get new watches. Now there's fucking the I said it earlier, Neuralink. Like there's all this shit. Now they're starting to create cars that drive on their own. There's gonna be somebody that's gonna come out. We already have the gene splicing shit.
Cas9 fucking
What's it called?
CRISPR.
CRISPR is fucking terrifying. But at the same time, cool shit. I don't know if you know about CRISPR.
I don't know what that
it's
is.
gene altering shit.
Yeah,
Gene
so
altering.
Yeah.
basically, if I remember correctly, and I could be corrected, and I'm fine. Anybody, please correct me.
Not a scientist.
Yeah. But Cas9 is a like type of either RNA or protein that we got from a bacteria or a virus, giving ors so I could be right. Basically, we got it from a microbe, and we realized it had the ability to basically like cut and paste in the genetic code. And so we took it and we put it in our own man-made harness and are able to use it to basically decide what genes we want in or out.
Based off the mother and the father's genes, right?
Yeah, based off of your genetic code. So we could go into your genome when you're like a little embryo and go, in theory, if we understood the human genome perfectly, we could go, okay, I want this person to be 6'2", major muscle mass, blue eyes, dark hair, perfectly tan skin, and like send them out their way. High metabolism, high athleticism, good coordination, high intelligence.
Wild.
Yeah, you could just, as long as you understand the genes perfectly, then you could decide what genes you want on and which genes you want off. Right now, it's in its infancy. It's been developing over the course of the last like 7 to 10 years, but the main focus is all technology and all advancements is on disease and disabilities. Trying to imagine trying to rid someone of Down syndrome before they're born, or if Parkinson's is a huge fucking genetic problem in your family and you can just turn that shit off. That's the main focus now. But as with most things, as soon as you master how much it can help when it comes to sickness and disease, it then goes into the more recreational sense.
Yeah.
I want them to play piano.
Yeah, I want them to be musically inclined. I want them to be
crazy.
able to understand languages better.
Yeah.
As long as we can understand which genes influence that.
Run faster, lift harder.
Live longer.
Everything.
And so then it comes down, then the entire conversation of ethics comes out, where it's
unethical.
do you treat kids differently if they're
genetically
CRISPR
modified
kid? Yeah, if they're a GMO kid. Or
Yeah, straight up.
If they're all natural, are you going to treat those kids differently? Are you going to hold them to higher standards?
Not in a shit talking way at all, but you have the Olympics and then you have the Special Olympics and whatnot. You're going to have the
Special Olympics, regular Olympics, CRISPR Olympics.
because it's going to be unfair.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the kids that are the regular kids performing and trying to beat the people in CRISPR. I can still do better than you, even though I'm normal. And you're going to have the split of societies and schools and families not speaking to one another and kids that are going to feel left out. And
a huge part of it too will be
lists of shit.
If there's a paywall, if it costs a lot of money, then only the rich are going to be able to access that. They're going to make super kids, which grow to be rich, which are going to be the only ones
to watch that fucking show on Netflix because it has
Altered
everything
Carbon.
to do with this. It has everything to do with it.
I needed to watch it. A coworker told me the same exact thing.
It's so fucking good, dude.
But yeah, so
if you're interested in what we were talking about,
there's a
show
show
called
on
Altered Carbon that I watched, and it's stupid fucking good. It's based on the future, and it's like rich and poor, and I'm talking extremely rich and extremely poor, and there really isn't too much in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's being basically your brain gets backed up into a machine, and depending on how many years and how rich you are and different things, you get put into different bodies in different time frames. Like the whole premise of the show starts with a guy, I think, that his brain was asleep for 250 years, but he was a detective, and he gets put into this body, and he comes back and he has to figure out this whole fucking, it's a whole season.
That's pretty fucking sick.
It's so fucking good. I'm talking like, I would get done with each episode and go like, what am I actually watching though? Because the acting makes you feel like what you're actually watching, not like you're looking at the actors, especially because there's a lot of people that you've probably never seen before in your life. But they play it where the main guy, he's an attractive dude or in the attractive body. And that's how it feels. Like he's in an attractive body, but that's not him. Like that's not
just his avatar.
That's just his avatar. Exactly. It's his brain in this body, and then he has this like love life who recognizes the body, and is like attracted to him because it was her, I think, boyfriend or husband for how many years. And that whole thing gets complicated because he doesn't feel anything there. It's so good.
That's trippy.
That sounds crazy.
I'm waiting. I don't know. I should look that up.
That sounds
for
some
a
Black
second.
Mirror shit right there.
Altered
Yeah, it
Carbon
does
on
sound like that.
Netflix. That shit is sick.
What were we talking about before we brought up CRISPR?
Sucking dick. No. Fucking Betty White.
Oh God.
Fuck yes.
And jeans, and we really were talking about fucking.
Well, no,
older
I'm
people.
talking about right before
CRISPR?
because we were talking about technology. We were talking about technology and the way
yeah,
that
how
it
it's really
improves.
and everything
advancing.
else. Yeah.
So to get back to the original point was I can't imagine the advances in medicine, the advances in like surgeries, and the advances in like overall like nutrition and health that we're going to have by the time that we are senior citizens. Like it sucks now because old people now are barely getting to see a glimpse of it right at their last years.
Yeah.
Whereas we are in our 20s right at the fucking like middle of it. And I just can't, like, if we're already living in a time where we're discovering genetic code editing, we have, like you said, self-driving cars. We have Neuralink coming out when it comes to like attaching technology to our brain. We have talks of colonizing Mars and doing all this crazy shit. And we're in our 20s. Like you couldn't pick a better fucking time. Like unless you just want to be in your 20s in the next 20 years type shit. Like it is the best time right now to be alive in your prime.
Like when I think about it, it makes me feel like people who lived in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. It's unfair. It's fucking unfair. I'm looking at my grandparents.
Totally unfair.
I'm like, my grandparents have, my fucking Opa has a pacemaker. My Oma's not doing too hot. He just turned 80. So it's like, I don't know how much time you have, hopefully a lot, but like you don't have much time and you're not going to be able to see the cool fucking shit that's going to happen in 40 years.
I'd be so pissed if the last 10 years of my life is when technology hit that straight up pattern on the graph where everything is advancing at a rate that's just unprecedented.
I'm like 70 and it's 2020 and I'm just like, mother.
Yeah, dude, I'd be so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it almost makes life feel like a movie where it's like, oh, how convenient that I was like placed in this time and day and age where like I get to see the world at its most rapid expansion. That's just like, it's breaking records left and right all the time. It's the same idea of like, would you rather be a king in like the 1400s or be an average Joe in the in the early 2000s? Give me average Joe in the mid 2000s
all day,
every time.
Because like
the opportunity,
the king back in the day is the fucking king. That's about the highest you can go.
It's the highest you get.
Average Joe now can become the fucking CEO of a company within 10 years.
No, I don't even mean the potential. I mean live an average Joe life.
And just see the cool shit?
In this day and age, or be a king in the 1400s, fuck that.
That shit boring.
Fuck that. Are you kidding me? Bro, disease runs rampant. Infection rampant. Doctors don't know shit about anything. Running water, nothing. Good food, out of here. Anything. Good clothing, fuck out of here. You don't have transportation. You don't have anything to explain the world around you. Everything is Dark Ages bullshit.
But they didn't know.
Yeah. I don't care.
Ignorance is bliss, though.
I don't want to lose my 13th brother or sister to malaria or to consumption.
Shout out Brother Nature.
I would, yeah, literally.
I hope you're all right, man.
Yeah, bro. Good. Fucking, our thoughts and prayers are with you, bro. Like I would rather be the average Joe watching Elon Musk change the fucking world on my iPhone, in my flat screen TV, and my air conditioned home.
What we're doing now?
Yeah, I would rather do this.
Yeah.
Because we, no matter what we tell ourselves, are living average Joe lives right now. I would rather do this than be the king with no running water, with no good food.
I mean, the same thing could be said in like, God, I hate being congested.
Hey, they got drip though. They have a Gucci belt.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
Unlimited gold Gucci belts.
The thing about like the ignorance is bliss thing is like it's the same thing that applies now. And 200 years from now, people are going to look at us and be like, "Those fucking idiots."
No, don't
like,
get me wrong.
Imagine being Caleb Gregory in 2019.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of being like in 2500. Like,
so what I'm saying is like when I look at that now, that's almost like saying, imagine living the life we're living now, or
it still applies.
Or being fucking. The only person that comes to mind is Leonardo DiCaprio. I would 100 times over. I love my life, I do. But Leonardo DiCaprio's life sounds tight as fuck.
No, I get it. There's always a better thing. Like if someone gave me the choice to live now, 200 years ago, or 200 years in the future, I'm picking the future. Don't get me wrong. Like if I could still like have like the things that I love, like or let's say you can still get the people you love. Like there's no personal attachments to the present. I'm picking the future, 100%.
I don't know. Like if I think about it, if the whole ignorance is bliss thing and I'm in the 1400s and have no idea what the fuck is coming, and I'm a goddamn king.
Yeah, they got it all.
Exactly. They have it all.
Yeah, but like,
bro, you look at somebody who has malaria and you go, take his head off.
No, but like just the thing, like you get you get sick.
Poor ass.
You get sick, and then the fucking like medieval fucking medics come in and go, "Oh, you have the flu? Looks like you're getting covered in leeches." Fuck that, bro.
You get cancer now. They're just like, let's put radiation into your body. Like they don't know what the fuck to do with cancer.
I would rather go cancer.
No, I'm just giving you examples.
I know there's always, but that's different. It's all I'm getting at is like a king lived worse and centuries ago than the average person lives now. We know more about the world and how it works as average Joes who've gone through average public education than the most advanced scholar did.
It's just one of those
centuries
weird things
ago
where it's like, if I could take you right now and say like, would you rather live this life? And then take the same you, put it in the 1400s, but erase your memory, put you as a king and be like, or would you rather live this life? Take you back and show you somehow, give you the same like feelings, but at different times which feels better. I think the king thing would be it's like having, this is the fucking shit.
Well, I'm totally aware that you will find happiness regardless in whatever time you live in.
What were you going to say? It's like having what?
It's like having, when you're a king, you have it all. And then when you're an average Joe and today, you have the opportunity to have it all. Like you have, if you were a peasant back then, you wouldn't be able to have the opportunity to become a king.
Yeah.
But then here, like, our opportunities are endless.
And that
opportunities
brings up a
are
good
very
point
nice,
because like if you play Sims, right? I don't know if you guys ever played Sims.
I didn't, but I'm familiar.
Holy fuck, I played that game a lot. It was cool at first to put in all the cheat codes, have millions of dollars, build the best house you want. But by the end of it, you're putting all of your babies in tiny rooms and setting rooms on fire. And the Grim Reaper shows
the ladders
up.
from
You're
the
setting your
pools.
house on fire. You're killing
the ladders from the pools.
You're killing your characters, and then eventually the game ends because it's just like, this is boring as fuck. So to some degree, I will agree that like when you have it all, it sucks because it's just boring from that point forward. But I don't know. If I was in the 1400s, if I'm putting myself in their shoes, I'm like, I don't know what technology is. I don't know that anything outside of the modern medicine that we have now, which is jack shit. For all I know, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is the best medicine we'll ever have.
Well, that's the thing. No matter
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, you're right. Like no matter what time you live in, if it's the present, it's the best it's ever been. Unless, I mean, that's actually not entirely true. I'm sure there are times where shit got way worse. Like you're living right before the plague, shit's great. You live in like a few years into the plague, I would have gone back. And same thing with like world wars and shit like that. But that was my main point. Just touching on the fact that the average person now lives better than a king in the past did.
Yeah.
And that's fucking insane. And I think at the rate that quality of life improves, again, it's exponential. So
Kings were also cunts though, so
yeah, I mean, power corrupts. But like 100 years ago, is probably the rate of change that it was 100 years ago is probably the same rate of change we're going to see in like 50 years. And it's because shit gets faster.
The rate of change.
Quicker.
Say that again. The rate of change. What?
So like the rate of quality of life improving over the last 100 years, we're probably going to see that same staggering amount within the next 50 years.
I'd say less.
I'm
really
not sure.
Think about
I'm being
the incline of technology we have right
now. I don't knock you. I think I'm being generous with 50 years.
Yes. You're just saying half the time.
But yeah, that's the rate is increasing like crazy.
50 to 30.
Somewhere in there.
It's growing pretty fast, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I'm chilling with what I got.
Take another one. Yeah.
Do you want Tahiti?
Yeah, I'll throw some in there. Thank you.
And
your wine glass. I'll pour half of it in there, otherwise it just overflows.
You're the best.
if you want, you can take my wine glass because I'm done with it. So just to get it out of the frame.
Sorry, everybody.
Thank you, waiter Nick.
Sorry, fucking. What'd you say?
I said thank you,
Nick.
waiter Nick.
Oh yeah. Fuck you.
I'll leave the
I'll leave a
tip
good
on the
tip.
table. Yeah.
Can I get the Coke tip?
I have to show you this picture that I took with my family, where
I wonder if this is picking up on the mic or if we're just like.
this is
Yeah.
where my sister-in-law, it was her birthday, and we all took a group picture, but the shirt that I'm wearing, which is a black shirt buttoned up to my neck, and the way I'm smiling in the back, I'm not part of the family. I look like a waiter. Like straight up. So when you guys said that, I was like, that makes me sad.
That's fucking funny. Do you have any, since we're on the topic, do you have any like type of predictions that you think things are going to be like, just say within the next 10 years?
Like the next 10 years?
Think about where like cell phones were at and the internet was at when you were 12
Yeah.
and how it is now. What do you think it's going to be like when you're 32?
I think definitely transportation would be different, especially with how many people are coming into this world. Like, I think they're going to try and make it a lot more efficient than it is. Mm-hmm. Aside from, like, we're going to have more electric cars in the future. Mm-hmm. I think that's one way they're definitely going towards.
I agree.
But they're going to have to find a way to house all these people because, number one, like, we are fucking popping out babies like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to find a way to house everybody. You know, maybe they'll send them to Mars. I don't really know.
Maybe they'll send them to Mars.
Fuck, I ain't going. I like where I'm at. So,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have no idea. All I know is I'm like a very progressive thinker, so I'm okay with everything that's coming,
changing. Yeah,
like I'm all good for it because we need that. Like you know, you don't want to be stagnant where you're at, and that change is just going to be good for everybody.
I agree. I think we're the first generation to be thrown into a day and age where we are used to adapting to change all the time. So like. You know how like the whole boomer shit is going around and we make fun of boomers for being stuck in the past. When you think about it, if you're, and say boomers are like 50, 55 to like 70 something, people of that age, they have lived 40 to 50 years of their life the same relatively when it comes to technology, when it comes to advancements in medicine and stuff like that. There have been changes, but again, not at the rate that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And so the last 10 years of their life, shit has just changed insanely quick. I'd say last 15 years of their life because we're getting close to 2020. Whereas we were lucky enough to be born into this era, so we're thrusted into a world that's already changing rapidly, at least once we're old enough to realize it. And so, like you said, you're a progressive thinker. You like bring on change and everything like that. I feel like we were born into a time where that's just normal to us. Constant improvement, constant advancement, constant change is our normal. And anything past that wouldn't be normal for us, but it would be normal for the boomers and the Gen X and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fuck the boomers. First of all, like no disrespect.
Shit, we're going hard.
No disrespect to my dad, but it's the same thing.
No disrespect, but fuck you, homie.
Yeah, fuck you, bro. But like they think that how they had it back in their day, like whatever the way that they did it is how it should be done. But like you guys said, today changes like every single
Everything
day.
is better now.
It's getting better. And so if we lived in such like how they did, but we wouldn't be ain't shit. They were lucky that they fucking had, you know, the opportunity, like, you know, they were able to go to school for so cheap, this and that.
Yeah, that is true. Money was different.
Yeah, they could have a job, a regular fucking minimum wage, or what we call a minimum wage job, and live off of it. We can't do that shit today.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely not.
Like, it's good that it changes because it pushes us as human beings to be better. Like, it doesn't allow us to settle for where we're at.
Yeah.
And we want to get on top of things and continue to grow.
Whereas back then they just settled for
it was just
less.
a white picket fence dream.
They were like, fuck it, fine. We're good. We're good how we
work
are.
at this factory, you stay home with the kids. I'll be pissed off, but that's just what life is.
And everybody here, we want to get better. We want to be better, not only people, but, you know, technology wants to get better. Like, we want to be smarter, this and that.
Yeah.
And they were just okay with being regular ass people.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this whole, like, I don't know. When I talk to my parents or my grandparents about, like, the new ways of thinking, how I would call it the new ways of thinking, they just shut that shit down.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's the exact problem, is your mind is just so fucking narrow, dude.
Yeah.
You can't. Are you okay? Oh, okay. God, I hate people using that bathroom. That's carpet.
It's got carpet. Yeah. Who fucking designed that shit?
This house was built in 2005.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like,
See,
how
that's
did you
the kind of boomer thinking we're talking about right there.
Yes,
fucking old
exactly.
people
Like,
thoughts.
it's stupid. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this, like, narrow thinking. And, like, don't get me wrong. God damn, I hate sniffling in the mic. There are a lot of new things that are coming out now where I am not on board with that shit. Like, there was one fucking dude that straight up said, like, he identifies with space and plants. And I was like,
get that shit
see,
out
I
here.
can't, like, my mind is open to a lot of shit. It really is. But there is just some ridiculous fucking thinking. But at the same time, that's what our grandparents and our parents think. It's like, oh, you're so open to all these new ideas. Like, why? So I don't know. It's one of those catch-22 things. I feel like we're more open-minded, but there is this way, like, a deeper world that you can get into. But at the same time, do we feel like that's ridiculous, or are we just not open to it? Or is it actually ridiculous too? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it like, are we not open to it, or is it actually ridiculous is what I meant to say.
See, I feel like because now that we're older, like, we're getting into, like, getting closer to our mid-20s.
Yes.
We can think rationally. And I think for the most of the stuff that we think that is okay to move forward with is pretty practical.
Yeah.
Like, for the older people, they're not really up to date with the technology and how things work. So they just think that all that shit is just kind of an imagination.
Right.
But as you're talking about, like, identifying with fucking spaceships and plants and stuff like that, like, how practical can that really be, you know?
Right.
When it comes to some technologies, like, you know, it's a stretch, but, like, it can help us in this kind of way, you know?
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people think in that kind of sense of how can we utilize this to help push our society forward, you know?
And I think it's just a lot of people doing the whole, like, all for one, not one for all sort of mentality where, and what I mean by that is them just, this is so complicated. For you to get back in your seat is a fucking, literally, like, avoiding lasers and shit.
Yeah, it feels like secret, dropping into, like, a secret base.
Spy shit.
It's just like everybody wants to be accepted, and they want everyone to hop on board with their way of thinking. And it's just what you were saying is, like, how practical is that? Like, does that actually help other people, or are you just being selfish and want to be accepted in your own tiny, tiny, tiny little fucking way?
Man, dude, it's such a fucking gray line. Like, I hate going into this because it pisses, like, people off all the time. But like you were saying, just the identifying, there's such a gray line of what we can think is practical and acceptable. Like, yeah, as humans, we should accept everybody for who they are. But at some point, you're like, man, you're fucking pushing it. You're just being a fucking idiot. Like, you're trying to put yourself. You're making extra categories when they're not needed. You know?
Yeah. Like, do you want to be defined as, like, and this is where it's gonna get. I don't even want to dive deep into this because we really can, and it's gonna be dangerous territory.
Let's do it
for just straight normal. Like, okay, sorry, not normal. Let me take that back. Straight. I guess the average would be the quote men. Is like, you want to identify as, like, she, her, and all this other shit. Like,
Zer.
Okay, that's where get the fuck out of here. I don't care. I'm not doing that. I'm not calling you Zer or Zim or Z. I'm not fucking doing that. You want he or her, and you don't look like a he or her.
Look at the camera.
Fine.
Point at the camera.
I
Tell
don't
them.
fucking care.
Yeah, fuck
I'm not
you.
doing that shit. And if you want to cancel culture, I'm gonna get so worked up
who gives
right
a
now.
fuck? Fuck that shit.
I'm not fucking doing that.
No.
You want to be a he or a him and a she or a shim, fucking whatever the fuck. I hate that there's he. Like there's
He,
and
him,
him.
and not she, shim.
Yes. Why? So, but
'Cause
she
English.
and her, like, fine. And that's not necessarily like the shit I don't care. Whatever. That's fine. If you want me to call you a fucking plant, eat my dick. You want me to call you a rocket ship, eat my ass.
Yeah.
And if you want me to call you a fucking star, eat shit. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
No, I'm
not.
with you on that. Like, that's the whole thing. Like,
I hope the podcast gets canceled.
Yeah.
I fucking hope so.
I'm really glad to be on here because we about to go off on this shit.
That
Stop
shit
being
is-
so fucking sensitive.
That's why I didn't want to drink with you, Vince.
I hate that shit. Like, we coddle each other so much nowadays. We're like,
yes.
wait,
Fucking
you gotta
snaps,
fucking
bro.
walking around without stepping on people's. Fuck that. Stop being fucking sensitive. Y'all should have seen how it was back in the day. Like, if you are what you are, like you said, if you want to be identified as a male or a female, go ahead. But don't be fucking doing no bullshit like she shim, Z shim, fucking Z sim, all that. Fuck that.
You want to be a fucking
Yeah,
sim.
stop doing that fucking extra stuff. Like, I think everybody's just way too sensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
I think people want to act like there's no difference between talking out of. People want to act like there's no difference between talking about hypotheticals or making a humorous joke and being 100% serious about your real opinions of the real world.
Yeah.
Like, I can make a joke that is probably very in bad taste about any minority group or majority group. And in nowadays atmosphere, you have to worry about someone twisting that out of context to make you look like a bigot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. So Andre, who is in the kitchen and can hear me right now, can attest to this. He's black, and our buddy Ethan, Andre's my fucking family. He might as well be. He's lived with us for so long. And our buddy Ethan, who has also been around since fucking 2006, so half my life.
Yeah, I know Ethan.
Yeah. Okay. You know how crazy Ethan can be sometimes if you actually know Ethan. And like the shit that they say, it's like we take jokes way too fucking far. In fact, they take jokes way too far, which jokes will never, ever, and I mean ever, be repeated. But like,
And I mean ever.
I love friendships like that where like you can just
Let loose.
let loose,
Yep.
like how we did now. It's one of those things where it's like,
And sorry, podcast, that ain't happening here.
Yeah,
Well, we love to go off, but there is a certain line that we know where it is just like, listen, you say anything past this line, if you're around the wrong crowd, if you're around wrong people who are going to take it out of context, then it now becomes an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It depends on who you're around and who you're saying it to.
Just know-
Regardless to the fact if you mean it or not.
know
Yeah.
your audience too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
with whatever you're talking about, which I mean, we're talking on a public platform right now. So really, whatever.
What we're saying though is nothing outside of anybody else, unless you are some over sheltered, super sensitive, echo chamber bubble person who only cares about virtue signaling and pandering to make yourself look like you're someone who has amazing morals and gives a shit about every single
Isn't
person.
it fucking crazy how many words he can say?
I didn't fucking compute any of that. Like, that shit was just in one ear after the other. I was like, yeah, yeah.
That's how I fucking feel sometimes.
Yeah, that was
Like,
crazy.
I'll catch up. Like I was keeping up with that. I know virtue signaling and pandering and all that, but like, and then he'll keep going. I don't mean
Sorry,
to interrupt
no,
your
I'll
point.
pick up right off where I left. Fuck you both.
In my mind, it was like the monkey hitting the fucking symbols together. I was like,
Dude, I'll be sitting here. I'm like, I'm so glad I know this computer and that camera because I don't feel so fucking
I'm
stupid
sorry.
when he's
I'm
talking.
too dumb for your vernacular.
I'll let me water it down.
Let me do it for you monkeys.
Never make that voice again. Oh my god, that shit hits my funny bone. No, it pisses me off because
Virtue signaling is
everybody has their jokes that are taboo that they laugh at.
yes,
Unless you're some pussy,
yeah.
then
See, now you're speaking my language.
everybody does.
Yeah.
And so when we say things like there's a line on what we can say in a public platform, It's not like we're sitting here and being like, as soon as this camera goes off, the Nazi flag goes right back up. It is more or less, as soon as the camera goes off, then we can say offensive things that we know won't get us into deep shit when taken out of context.
Yeah.
And everyone listening is in the same fucking boat. Everyone's just worried about someone pointing their fingers at you.
I
Yeah.
love those people that are on Twitter that will point the fucking finger and I'm like, I bet you say some
Don't even
fucked up
fucking
shit.
give me some.
No, it's always great when someone gets on somebody's case for saying something that you know wasn't supposed to be taken serious, and then all someone does is type in their @name in the search bar and then that keyword, and
The
all those
N-word.
fucking tweets pop up, whether it be them trying to whether it be them saying the N-word or them making a sexist joke or something, because everybody has dirt from the past, and now that the internet's a thing, everything's logged.
Yeah.
no.
And so everyone's a hypocrite. Like, you
I
can't.
would hate being a comedian. I would hate being a comedian now with a past. But I would love being a comedian now that just gets to push the fucking limits because I'm a comedian and I get to do it all goddamn
agree.
day.
Like, you think about all the past YouTubers that have done skits and stuff like that. Comedians, Shane Dawson.
Yes, I was gonna say
yeah.
Shane Dawson.
They've-
He's been getting a lot of shit.
They put that in the past, and now people are bringing that dirt back up, and they're trying to cancel the
Him
fuck.
fucking his cat or some shit like that.
And making jokes about
and
it.
doing blackface and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
he
Like,
did-
that's
he
not
did.
cool.
Ooh, I
That's not
didn't
cool.
know.
Or he would openly say the N-word, but he wasn't saying it in any type of racial context and in a way that he's trying to discriminate. He literally would either say it for a joke or he would say it because he's using the word to talk about the word.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can't even do that.
No.
Yeah.
Like, you can't read To Kill a Mockingbird without someone canceling you.
Look, there are some things that you should know you can and can't joke about. Like, don't drop the N-word. That's literally not even okay. Yes, for its past context, it goes way farther and way deeper than. This is one of the things that I don't think a lot of people know when you think about. Go ahead.
I was going to say, people nowadays don't drop the N-word, not because they care about the extremely deep, dark racial past, but because they don't want to be canceled.
Yes, but
It's straight up that reason. Nobody in their right mind nowadays would hear somebody on the street who's not black say that word and immediately assume that they are completely ignorant of America's past, completely ignorant of the hardships that black people have gone through and any of that shit. Nobody in their right mind would think, oh, this person is just historically ignorant. No, everybody knows with a common sense what that
They're
role,
doing it to get a rise.
what role that word plays nowadays in culture and music and movies and everything.
Yeah.
And so anyone saying that word is because that word was said around them a lot in that culture and they use it in the sense that they use it. Unless you're some type of neo-Nazi, it's different.
It's really interesting the cultural differences that we have due to the fact that here, right? N-word's big, blackface is big. Don't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Because those are
Fine.
super touchy.
You make a Holocaust joke, it's not so sensitive in the US.
Nowhere near.
But you go to Germany, if you legitimately like Zeke Heil, the fucking hand up and everything, they will I believe, I don't know if the rules are still this way, but what I remember hearing was they will throw you in jail. Because they don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
That is a dark, dark time for them.
Well, also that's fucking Czech's watch. Not too long ago either.
Right. And so it depends on the culture that you're in and the time frame and whatnot and how long ago it was. And it's it's not one of those things that ever needs to become normalized. Whenever everybody's like, well, if we just say the N-word enough, it'll become normal. Fuck, just leave it. It's one fucking word. Why can't you just leave it alone?
just not say it.
I think there was and this could be me growing up too young and too ignorant of the world. I think there was a point in time where it was the mid, I'd say from 2005 to 2012, 2013, where nobody gave a shit. Nobody seemed to care who said it.
No.
Everybody and their goddamn
When did
mother
Call
said
of
it.
Duty come out?
Literally. That's a perfect testament to it. Nobody gave a shit.
Just go check Twitter back in the day.
Everybody talked about how 2012 Twitter was and everything. And it's because nobody gave a shit on public platforms, on the internet, on
From
TV.
2007 to about 2009 and okay, we'll call it 2007 to 12. Nobody gave a fuck.
That's basically what
That's
I
when
said.
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare came out. And
Yeah,
I'll tell you right
nobody was
now,
saying- yeah,
if you don't know
everybody
what
was
we're
saying
talking about, type in Modern Warfare chat rooms, old chat rooms or something
Yeah.
like that. You'll see.
You'll learn real
You'll
quick.
remember.
It's real fucking
It was
dark.
toxic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what was said, all back in those days.
Mhm.
Dude, I had, and I'm talking so many, so many black friends that said when the new Modern Warfare was coming out, which is like the redo of the whole series, they were like, I'm so excited. Black friends. So excited to be called the N-word in a chat room again. And I was like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I actually have the new Call of Duty. I've been playing it. It's just like the old one.
Is it really?
It's a fucking classic.
Nostalgia.
It's just toxic. You go in there, just fucking mic bullshit, people saying bad things. It's funny.
I'm
I
getting
missed
in the
it.
next month. I'm about to learn.
Yeah, it's fun. I missed it, but I mean, like you were saying, like back then, everybody was saying it and nobody cared. But then now it's more of like, I get it. As a person that's not black, we shouldn't say it. But back in the day, you can't really hold it against us because
Culture was different.
Yeah, it was different. Like if you were hanging around those kind of people, you were around that all the time. Like it's just something you picked up.
And it would totally be a different argument if like there was like this large community of black people that were super vocal about how much they hated everybody else saying the word. But back then, at least on the internet, nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Black people, white people, Mexican, Asian,
It
anything.
is really weird.
Nobody
It's
gave a
like-
fuck.
It's when cancel culture and sensitive people started coming around heavily,
I'm-
which is also something I want to get into, just due to the fact that it was mentioned on a podcast I was listening to that was like, so it was mentioned on a podcast that they said the minority of like cancel culture is a minority. It's a very small amount of people like that are just extremely loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's so odd to me
It's-
because they were making the biggest uproar and people were thinking like this is such a large amount of people. It's not. It's just this.
When you like Twitter is where we get a lot of our information on this,
Yes.
right? When you see a viral tweet when it comes to cancel culture of someone being like, cancel this person, they did blank in 2013, blah blah blah, and it has 10,000 retweets, you're like, fuck, that's a lot of people.
You gave me the biggest insight on this shit.
Yeah. Well, even just to give another perspective on it, when you see someone post up a video of a cute dog, that shit has like 700,000 likes on it.
Yeah.
10,000 ain't shit.
No.
Yeah, no.
10,000
It
is
just looks big.
as soon as it hits that pocket of Twitter
Yeah.
or the pocket of the internet where everybody gives a fuck about everything all the time, then that shit goes viral within their community, and all of us who are acquaintances with people like that on the internet,
Yeah.
we get to see it on our timeline.
Yeah.
But like we said before, it's not the majority.
Yeah, no. Like as people that are, endelved in Twitter, you are our very first viral person on Twitter. AV produces a lot of celebrities, by the way. But yeah, like it's those things where it gets out really fast. Like as soon as it kind of gets that traction, it fucking runs with it. Because I had that one tweet, that Spanish milk tea tweet.
Oh my god!
It
When I
got-
tell you that shit was on my TL for months.
Yeah, it was all I was getting like fucking hate from it. Like not only on Twitter.
Explain it to Nick because I don't think he knows the context fully.
Okay, yeah. So on my Twitter, it was a tweet. It's a picture of horchata. I had like 4 pictures. I don't know what I was thinking that day.
Bro hit Google Images, found 4 pictures, hit save,
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Exactly what I did.
and went straight to Twitter.
It was like doo-doo quality photos and all
Doo-doo
that.
quality.
And so I posted it and I put Spanish milk tea, hard ice, hard ice. Next thing you know, like it was getting retweeted, favorited, and I have a shit ton of comments of people of majority like Latino and Hispanic people just fucking hating on me, like saying this not Spanish milk tea. And it picked up even
This is
more.
not Spanish milk
They're like,
tea.
blah, blah,
like
this-
you didn't know.
Yeah, like I didn't know. And then it got more traction because people quoted it and said like, I know that's not Spanish milk tea, that's fucking horchata. And then another person said, I know that's not Spanish milk tea, that's orchestra. And then like it picked up traction and just
What's your Twitter?
Vince stop. Follow me if you haven't already.
We'll plug you at the end
Shameless
too.
plug. But yeah, it
No,
just
Vince what?
stop.
Vince, stop.
Oh, like STOP?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool bug facts.
It's my quoted tweet. My
Your
pin.
name on Twitter is Cool Bug Facts.
And the worst part about it, dude, is that you have an apostrophe on facts.
Yeah, it's cool bug.
Why? Because, bro, you don't understand
'cause
the
it is.
fact.
fact
Like,
belongs to someone.
I love memes, but Vince's meme level is like
shit.
deep fried.
Oh, it's your
emoji
fucking pinned tweet.
level.
Yeah.
This shit's at 2.5 thousand and 4.3 thousand.
And people were quoting it and getting like double, triple,
Yeah, more
quadruple
than
the
what I
amount of
had.
retweets
That's
as him.
annoying.
Well, because they were adding on to it. And so you get you have 4,000 favorites, and then someone quotes it and adds another 10,000 favorites on top of that.
Then another person quotes that one, and they got like 30K.
What the fuck did Linda post underneath it? I don't know what everyone was tripping about because this is a thing at a Bubba place in my city. And it says whore on her cup. What the fuck is this? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it was just like a whole bunch of like hate from that. Like, it was funny. Like this was what, like a year or two ago. Like
when
I
was
feel
it
like
posted?
This was posted January 25th of 2017. Holy
yeah,
shit.
if I feel like if it was posted today, they'd be like, "Oh my god, he's fucking racist, this and that, like disrespectful to our culture." But in all, it's a joke.
Yeah,
It's a joke. And
don't
like,
take it up the ass.
going back to like what we were talking about, people are fucking sensitive. They're taking shit up the ass. Like you can kind of understand when somebody's making a joke. There are other times when when people are trying to be disrespectful.
I think I'm super confused on the fact why are people getting offended by Spanish milk tea?
Because it's quote unquote disrespectful to the culture
Yeah,
to like
'cause-
mock it.
Yeah, it's like mocking it because like milk tea is like an Asian thing. They're like, oh, you're trying to take our culture and like say that we stole it from you guys, shit like that. Yeah. Yes.
So I have a question. It's in relation to the topic, and we're hitting all the major relevant topics of this day and age, obviously. So how do you feel about people taking offense to Halloween costumes?
Oh, man. How do I feel about that?
In
Yeah.
the meantime,
What's your
I'm going to go
opinion?
pee.
Yeah, you do that.
Taking offense to Halloween costumes.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Nick.
I mean, in general, when you were young, when you were a kid, you dressed up as stuff. It's a time to dress up. Okay? Like, even though that's not what the original context of Halloween was back in the day,
Nobody celebrates
it's-
the original context
the
of
American
anything, bro.
culture of it is to dress up.
Yes.
So
and
we
get
fucking
candy.
dress up. It's not to mock anybody. Like sometimes there are jokes made out of costumes, but in general, you're going to be somebody that you're not. Then again, stop being fucking sensitive. It's just a goddamn costume.
So if you saw someone dressed up in an Asian stereotype, how would you feel?
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Why?
I think for me personally, because I don't care. Like I don't get offended by stuff like that. But I don't care because they're just dressing. They're not trying to disrespect it. Even if they did, like, what is that going to do for me?
Why let that bother you?
Yeah, why let it bother? If it's going to like, if they're trying to disrespect my culture, which involves millions of Asian people, why the fuck should I be sensitive about it?
Yeah.
Because it does nothing. If I'm gonna sit here and bitch and complain about it, then what do I do? What's gonna happen from that? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing because they still gonna do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what it's for. And the same thing, like, I don't know if you've seen posts in the past, but people have talked about people wearing like Asian dresses.
Oh, like kimonos?
Yeah, kimonos and stuff. Like there was a black couple on Twitter wearing like some kind of Chinese dress.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, oh my gosh, that's appropriation. It's like, that's not appropriation because they're not saying this is ours. Like,
Yeah, we made this up.
Exactly.
This is our style.
Exactly. That's what appropriation is. It's like, you know what? Let me take this Asian dress and call it mine. Say, I invented this and I created this.
It would be like the difference between what like not just Twitter, but what the internet thinks appropriation is and what actual appropriation is. The internet thinks appropriation would be me drinking boba. Real appropriation would be me coming out and saying, hey, I invented this new drink called smoothie with balls.
Exactly.
And it is my idea, and no one else has ever come up with this
new drink called Spanish milk tea.
Yeah, Spanish milk tea.
It would be like you
With smooth balls.
creating horchata, but it would be Spanish milk tea, and you'd be like, I am a genius. This is my creation. This is Asian culture. This is no other culture. That's appropriation.
Yeah,
And nobody wants to fucking say it out loud.
Exactly. They just kind of take that word and throw it in like, oh, another race is kind of like appreciating our culture. Appropriation. Bam. There you go.
Yeah.
Disrespect them, expose them, cancel them. Fuck them.
Meanwhile, I think it's Japan or China. Pretty sure it's Japan. That was actually excited when like people were dressing up.
It was Japan.
Yeah. They were excited because it's like, oh, you're expanding our culture.
Yeah.
Completely different view on it. Like
It's
that's fucking cool.
It's
I
because-
like that.
It's because the social warriors of
We're
American
here to
culture.
defend everyone that doesn't want to be defended.
It's like the like
Where did you go?
It's like the white people in shining armor feel like they need to speak for minorities. It always pisses me off when there is a controversial post on any social media platform and there is some white person that feels like they need to speak up for the black people that they think it will offend or the Asian people that they think it will offend. When in reality, you should let those people speak for themselves and at the same time, not let one person represent an entire group.
Right.
So if somebody posts some joke about black people and Joel comes onto the joke and is like, there's nothing wrong with this tweet. If you get offended by this tweet, you're a bitch. Although you may agree or disagree with Joel's opinion, you should not let Joel represent the entire black community on the opinion on this issue. And the same should be put in reverse. If some person goes out there and says, this is offensive, you are disrespecting all black people, you're disrespecting our culture, blah, 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 you don't get to speak for the culture.
Yeah.
You are only a part of it. It is like someone in traffic getting to say that I am the leader of traffic. No, you are just a part of traffic.
Right.
And so, because there are people, I guarantee, within any culture that are going to disagree with your stance on how it represents the culture.
I just don't understand where the fuck this came from.
And I think
this sense of entitlement.
So I don't want to pin it on anybody, but in my head, there's a timeline.
But Ryan Seacrest.
but Kiss FM is to blame for all of this. But no, I think in my head, and this is from my limited interactions with the world, if somebody has a better timeline or more events previous to when I start dating mine, then feel free by all means. But I don't remember people really getting riled up over shit. There wasn't much when it came to protests, when it came to taking shit out of context, when it came to being sensitive about what you're talking about, until the Black Lives Matter movement really kicked up. I think in my timeline from what I saw, it really took a big shift during the Trayvon Martin era when the Zimmerman, what's his first name?
No idea.
Jordan Zimmerman's a fucking baseball player, so it's the wrong guy. When Zimmerman attacked Trayvon Martin and killed him, and the hoodie and Skittles in Arizona became symbolized, and he became a martyr, and everything like that happened. It could have started in Rodney King era. That could have been the first initial thing. Yeah. But from what I remember, social justice wasn't a big topic on Twitter, whether it be really meaningful social justice that actually needs to be done or pseudo social justice. But it started during that Black Lives Matter movement, because I remember that was a huge rift in the culture. There were a ton of people who were super pro Black Lives Matter. Everyone had it in their Twitter bio. Everybody was on board with it. And there were a bunch of people that were like, these people are making statements that I don't agree with, that are untrue. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And once that kicked up, then I remember seeing a lot of other subgroups kick up on a lot of other issues.
That's a fair timeline.
And that's why I say I don't want to pin on anybody and pin on any culture or anything like that. Yeah. But just from my personal experience, that's what I remember really starting the entire social justice movement. And then I feel like a lot of you know what? It's that paired up with the feminism movement. Both of those, I think, really were the initial sparks that kind of took Twitter from its 2012 era where no one gave a fuck about anything and really kicked it into gear.
2012 was a really weird year.
It was. And I remember
maybe that's what the minds meant.
There was such a hard counterculture to both, because in the end of the day, feminism and both feminism and Black Lives Matter really have good intentions and really a good overall message and vision that they're trying to work towards, which is equality, which is what everybody with a sound mind in our society wants. But the fact that there were such hard countercultures to it showed that both movements weren't entirely being honest. I remember time and time again, people who would say Black Lives Matter in the same breath would also say super trashy things about white people. And I also remember people who were saying feminism were also saying in the same breath super trashy things about men. Yeah. And then the same thing in the gay community. There were people who were really fighting for gay rights and then completely trashing straight people, as if either of those three examples I gave are going to get people on board with your movement. And so because of these super hardcore movements that were also slightly that had a lot of loud, radical people riddled within the communities, created these countercultures like All Lives Matter, like Meninism, and like straight pride, where people felt like, if I'm not talking about my personal label, then I'm not getting represented, and then I will be treated poorly because I'm not on the side of social justice. All of those things have died down since. It's very hard to find somebody now with Black Lives Matter in their bio, or someone like pounding feminism as hard as it used to be pounded. They were really trendy at the time, and the topics don't go away, like equal gender or lack of gender discrimination is always going to be a topic. Race relations is always going to be a topic, and gay rights hopefully won't always be a topic. Hopefully that just ends up being a thing that everybody respects. But that was it. It was like these movements came out, and they came out hot and intense and in your face. And there were a lot of people that were like, our side is the good side, and like, I'm going to generalize anybody who's not on our side.
Yeah.
And it caused those people to make a bad look for the entire movement. And I feel like that on my timeline was the shift. The start of things going from no one gave a fuck to you have to give a fuck about everything.
Yeah, of course.
And now it's one of those things where it's like, there are fires in Australia, and if you don't care, you're a waste of a fucking human being.
Yeah, those extremists definitely gave like those movements a bad name, because really they were louder than the actual movement themselves. You know?
And
no one stood out more than everybody else.
And no one wanted to dismiss the extremists. Nobody was like you didn't hear the majority come out and say, no, this person is way too far off line, because that would make, if someone was the first to step out and go against that, then that would make them look like they're siding with the enemy.
Yeah. And then you had the people that were doing the peaceful protests and making a quiet stand, but making a stand nonetheless. And then you had the people that were being radical and smashing fucking business windows and robbing people and stabbing people and setting shit on fire. And it's just like, you're ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw time and time again people that were doing like the Black Lives Matter thing that were like, guys, if you're doing the fucking over the top shit, please stop, because it's ruining it for the
it's
actual
a bad
movement
look
itself.
Yeah.
It's why so many people hate veganism.
Yeah.
Veganism in general is a very good movement.
You want to know how someone's vegan?
How?
They're going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. It's that rule. That thing's been applied to so many things.
Yeah.
It's so accurate. But no, that's the thing. Like, veganism in general is a super, super good movement. Super great for the environment, just in general, trying to like shut down overall pollutions of factory farms.
Yeah.
And a lot of the choices in veganism, I won't say all of them, because I know it's not true, but a good chunk of the choices in veganism are a lot of healthier options. You can eat Doritos and still be vegan. Don't get me wrong, but it'll put people on. It's not real cheese.
That's cheese. It's cheese.
Maybe it's skim milk. Can we get a fact check on that one? Skim milk.
But you can still be unhealthy and be vegan.
Yes.
But overall, very good
a
movement.
vegan who literally eats candy.
Yeah, and like cupcakes and all that shit. Exactly.
It's like, come on now.
Yeah, and so regardless, but like overall, that's a really good movement. And there are so many fucking like Nazi vegans who like want to like ruin the look for everybody else.
Yeah.
And that can be said about a lot of these movements.
Yeah. I'm getting tired. I do want to kind of dive slightly back in, Vince, because I'm probably gonna wrap it up. I'm getting really tired.
For sure.
I want to wrap it up with like the shit that you're doing and get back into like the cooking stuff and just kind of tap back into that, like where
100%,
where you got the idea from, where you want to take it, how you want to go about it, stuff like that. Like go ahead.
So we've done enough talking.
Yeah,
we've done a lot of talking this episode. So
no, it's
like,
interesting to hear you guys. I like hearing.
Obviously, you were a part of it. You had your chime-ins and you had your points to bring up as well. But it's just like, it's always nice to just bring it back in general to not only you, but to happier topics.
Definitely.
But so with cooking, right? And you already said it, so it doesn't fucking matter. But with like getting out of school and whatnot, where did the cooking come from? Like, what originally sparked that up?
So it's more of not of me cooking. Like, I can't cook for shit. I mean, I think if I put my mind to it, I probably could.
So it's not you cooking.
It's not.
It's like foodie culture.
Yeah, foodie culture. Okay. Without me revealing too much, because I don't want nobody to steal the ideas. I'll probably tell you guys after this, but
that's fine.
It's more of me expanding and broadening everybody else's horizons to different foods, you know. Like
Hell
I
yeah,
want
dude.
everybody to really see the different things, like especially if you come from an area that there is not much of.
Yeah.
Like you really just kind of eat fast food and like big chain restaurants and stuff like that. Like there's more out there that we all haven't even tried, even myself, like that there to try.
Yeah.
And so I want everybody to kind of get it from a regular guy's perspective, like somebody who's not a chef, somebody who's not a food critic, just like a normal person that who was picking it before and that kind of has opinions on food, you know?
I like the idea of going from picky to being open about it. Where did it stem from though?
It came from me really just trying different stuff. Like
eventually just growing out of your shell?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I never really had this before. And then I kind of go out with my friends and I'm like, oh, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's me growing older or just because I never really
Taste
took the
buds
chance
change
to.
every, 7 years or some shit like that? So
it's probably because of that,
it
yeah.
has something to do with that.
You got thrusted into Orange County, which has a huge variety of different foods.
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And it's your cells replenish every 7 years.
So your taste buds also change though.
Well, your taste buds are part of the cells, but I don't know if they change what you like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so it's just really trying the different stuff that we never had the opportunity to try out here because I have family that lives over there and I got to go over there, but I mainly just visited.
Yeah, you don't
so
go out.
I never really knew the cities and I never knew what surrounded the area. And once I got to go out with friends and they brought me to like a new light, they also kind of got me into drinking, by the way. So fuck them, fucking turned me to alcoholic. But yeah, it's trying the different foods and like. I want everybody to really have a chance. Like, you know, if you ever seen a place like, oh, it looks good, but I've never tried it and I don't know if I want to take a chance. Well, I want to be like that person to give you an honest review from a regular guy's view.
Yeah, I like that. I think I have a general idea without giving away too much what you're going to be doing, but you can tell us afterwards. So when is your lazy ass going to start that up?
So I think it first starts with, I have the equipment because luckily, shouts out to Linda. She's got the equipment that can help me with all of that stuff.
So you guys can be partners in it.
It's more of like me being
you and her helping.
Yeah, it's like I'm borrowing their stuff because all the ideas are stemming from me because I want it to be everything I want.
It's like a solo project?
Yeah, a solo project with the assistance of others of things that I'm not, I would say, proficient in.
Yeah.
You know, like editing and stuff like that. Yeah, and setting it up. But I do want it to be not only based here in California. I want it to be everywhere else. So
just traveling and trying new shit wherever you go at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
From people from small areas, they don't really understand. And when you hear food reviews from critics and stuff, they're very critical about how they review food, understandably, but they don't know what it's like from a regular person's perspective.
Yeah, because they're like food connoisseurs.
Yeah, because they can taste every single goddamn thing in the fucking dish. And for me, I'm like, it's good, it's good.
It's good, it's good.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was doing something similar, but with like Airbnbs where he'd go to each one.
Oh, that's sick.
And he would do a review on it. And he did one and stopped. And I was like, it's such a good idea.
Well, that idea's out there now.
Yeah,
so it's a unique idea right
because
there.
he's not using it. So, but it was just like giving reviews on it, telling, you know, the area and the stuff around it and like how easy it was to speak to the person and whatnot. It is an extension that people can go to find out what Airbnbs work.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. So I'll talk to you about it after, but I have a very keen idea of what you're going to be doing.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So you get thrusted into this new world and you grow older and you grow more mature and you start trying different things and finding shit you like. What has been one of the cultures of food that has surprised you the most that you have adopted and like that you didn't want to try before or didn't like before?
So coming from here, like the only kind of Asian people I knew of were, I would have to say, Vietnamese and Filipino people, like mainly Filipino people. And then when I got thrown out there, you just have like a pool of different kind of Asians. And the one food I really found I really enjoyed the most, I would say more out of everything else, is Cambodian food.
What?
I didn't even know that was a fucking thing.
I don't know that that's a fucking thing.
So like Cambodian food is like pretty close in relation to Vietnamese food.
Like what are 2 or 3 dishes from it?
You guys probably wouldn't even know, honestly. I wouldn't even know the name, but there's like a soup.
Describe the ingredients.
So you guys have had pho before, right?
Actually, I don't think I have.
I don't think I've had pho either.
So it's pho is a Vietnamese soup dish where it has rice noodles and it's made in like a beef broth. And
is it not ramen?
No, it's kind of made in a way like ramen because ramen broth, if you get tonkatsu, that's pork broth. So it's like made
so
like overnight, 2 days in a row, like sitting in bone broth and it absorbs all the flavor.
Right.
It's similar except instead of pork, you use beef.
Okay.
And so the broth is a little bit more clear. And they use rice noodles, as in ramen. They use egg noodles. That's like the yellow ones that you guys typically have.
Yeah.
So the rice noodles, it's like that, and they put different parts of the cow in it. Like they have like the tendons, like the bones. It's not like your regular cuts of meat. It's not regular meat in there. They put a whole bunch of shit that you would normally push to the side in your dish, but it's actually really good and complements it all. And they throw in a bunch of different veggies. So the Cambodian dish is similar to that, except they use that same broth, but with tomatoes. And it's a super rich and dense, heavy broth. It's really hard to describe because it's just so fucking
You're doing
bomb.
extremely well of describing it.
It's super
Talk
good.
about me using words. You are being like you've said some dumb shit here and there and everything, and it's been fucking funny. As soon as you start talking about food, you are fucking poetic.
Yeah, it came like one of the things I became passionate about is like
It
everybody
shows.
enjoys eating, but the way how you can really bring out different flavors and stuff like that, and things that you could recognize that aren't in other dishes, it makes me appreciate the way people cook food. Although I can't cook for shit, I really enjoy eating it.
I was just going to ask.
You'll
so,
probably
like,
get there eventually.
Maybe.
is cooking an interest eventually to get better at?
Cooking is not so much an interest. I think more of opening a restaurant is an interest.
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to start like, I want to get on more of those foodie trains. Like, have you guys heard of like After's Ice Cream?
No.
So it's like this big ice cream chain that was started in Orange County, and they're getting huge. Like they're all over Southern California, Los Angeles, this and that. And it's this guy named Andy Nguyen. He's from Orange County, and he started this ice cream business, and they're doing it extremely well. And he's more of like a food entrepreneur. Like that is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a restaurateur almost.
Yeah.
And he starts like all these foodie pop-up shops that are small shops, not big restaurant sizes, that they serve whatever is like hype, like things that you want to take pictures of. Sometimes they're not good. I'll be honest. Like they look good, but they don't taste good.
Like the vape flavored ice cream shit.
Yeah. But I want to make something that it's like has a core menu that actually tastes really good that I can spread all over the world, that I don't want only to be over here.
Yeah.
Do you want it specified with one culture, or do you want to kind of like take from what you like from what different cultures?
I actually want to start different kinds. Like in the future, I would like to start different kinds of food. Like I don't want the same thing over and over. Like if there's one, like let's say my first restaurant I start is really popular and everybody loves it. Yeah, I'll spread it everywhere. But I don't want to stick with that idea. I always want to create something new and something different that people haven't tried, like combining cultures.
Like a hybrid.
Yeah, because there's a lot out
way
there.
to relate to people too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like in Orange County, there's a couple of restaurants that they mix Mexican and Korean food together.
The fusion restaurants.
It's those fusion restaurants. They be hitting. They're really
fire.
fucking
They're
good.
fire.
And like they're foods that you would never really expect to come together because they're on different sides of the world, and they match. They
I
do
heard
really
of like
well.
a burrito roll once, and I was like,
Oh yeah, I've seen
That
they have
sounds
like
kind of
sushi
bomb.
rolls.
Yeah, the sushi rolls?
sushi burrito
Yeah.
rolls or
If
whatever.
you guys ever try those are hype. Don't get them.
Don't get them.
they're not good.
Because it is
rough.
sushi, but they're expensive, and so it's just a big ass piece of sushi.
What is it,
Just-
like $40 or some shit?
No, it's okay. So for a big ass burrito, it's probably like $19. I would have to say.
Damn, that's still a lot.
Just go get regular sushi at that point.
Yeah, you're like $10-15 away from all you can
Or go
eat.
get like a poke bowl.
Yeah, Pokeball is so good.
And that's
Fucks
another
the
thing.
poke up.
Here in AV, I believe this is a really good place to start food restaurants. I never
people
Can be,
love
yeah.
it out here, dude.
Yeah.
We had a Poke Junction out here that just closed, and that broke my fucking
Oh,
heart.
they closed?
From what I remember, I'm pretty
I
sure they
go
did.
to like Pokey to go or whatever.
Yeah. See, like there's so many
I love that
places
spot.
that opened up. My dad told me the same thing. He was like, AV would be a good place. And I was like, man, I don't know. And the next thing you know, I see Poke places open up. You guys just open up. It's boba time over there in Palmdale, I think, too. So
You know what? I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna give it a shout out because there's this new place opening up
Yeah,
that
shout
I'm
it out.
super fucking hyped for, and so they're gonna get free fucking advertisement
Yeah,
right
Poke
now.
Junction's gone. And that shit, the first time I tried it, I was like, oh, this is what Poke is? Taste buds don't change every 7 years. They change every 2 weeks, but there are factors other than taste buds that decide whether you like a certain food.
That makes
interesting.
sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, total free shout out, free advertisement. I don't know anybody.
As if we haven't been doing that for the past
Yeah,
50
for like,
episodes.
like
Shameless
everything we like.
plug.
I don't know anybody associated with this other than like my one homie who did like their fucking like what is it, like their computer design or whatever,
Yeah.
their logos and shit. But there's a new chicken sandwich spot opening up on Lancaster Boulevard called Sassy Bird, and the shit looks fucking unreal.
Yo, Go ahead.
Apparently, there's another shop already open in a different location, and people fucking love it. And they're expanding out here. And when I tell you the pictures, so there, if you want to know what it looks like, it's sassybird_AV on Instagram. But I'll show you guys the pictures of the food. It's opening in like a couple weeks from now. So like November 20 something.
Remind me and we'll go.
Tell me why. I was just about to say, before you mentioned that, my prediction for the next food place that was going to open was going to be a chicken place.
Dude,
I thought it was going to be a hot, like, you know, those Nashville hot chicken.
Because of the shit.
That's what it is. It's
now?
Nashville
That's what
hot
it is,
chicken
right?
sandwiches.
See, I knew it.
Damn,
I
that looks
fucking knew
good.
it.
Here's a picture.
See, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to
Their
say.
soft opening is when?
Their soft opening, it said November 9th, but apparently that got pushed back. But their grand opening is November 16th, which from now is day after tomorrow.
Oh,
Saturday.
you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, man. So that's popping up.
free.
I'm really, I think I am. I'm really excited to see if that like does well.
Yeah.
Because it could be like really defining for whether or not like the AV, like you said, is a hotspot for
Fuck
food.
you, Popeyes.
Bro, Popeyes is fire, by the way. That
No,
shit's
I know. I
bomb.
haven't
Yeah.
tried it yet, but I heard.
But yeah, like that's opening. There's actually a lot of hype around that. I looked at the Instagram comments and a lot of my mutual followers are commenting on their stuff.
Yeah.
So they're gaining a lot of hype.
I knew it. I knew there was going to be one day. Like, that's what was my prediction, because that's like the hottest trend out right now is hot chicken.
Yeah.
That's
dude.
like the shit.
Yeah, everybody fucking loves that stuff.
I think I really do have a genuine idea of what you're going to be doing. So
I'm pretty
really
sure you do. Hopefully none of you guys do. So I want you to steal my shit.
Well, you're also Vince, so no one can steal that.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. You
as
can't
long
steal
as you
that
make
shit.
it yours, like that's the most important part. Like how we made this our thing.
Yeah.
Like
To be honest, we're nothing fucking special. We're like I said, average Joes who
you can
set
make
up some
you can
mics.
make that noise, but if you really think about it, we're just talking.
Yeah,
This is how we talk.
and it's just we'll win people over if they listen.
Yeah,
But no one scrolls by and goes.
I think
"Ooh."
we kind of jumped in at this weird time where just enough people jumped on board with us that we're like, oh, these conversations are good. It sounds good, stuff like that. There's a time and place for certain shit.
True. Yeah.
So it's like your food thing can definitely come out of nowhere and can latch on very quickly.
Yeah. It's definitely about timing.
Yeah, I know the foodie trend was a big thing, like when Instagram was first popping
Yeah.
up, and then it died down. However, I can really see that popping up again, strong, really close in the future.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
So I think you're onto something.
As of right now, there are 700,000 active podcasts and more than 29 million podcast episodes.
Yeah,
But we just
totally
hopped
buy
in
it.
at a time where it was just like, oh,
I think
This
you
is
guys
actually
caught it right,
resonating.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the thing is, you guys have something that not a lot of people don't. It's I told him earlier. It's that talent of keeping the conversation going, because a lot of people you know you can talk one-on-one as friends, but when you're sitting behind a microphone and a camera and all this, it's hard to keep that going
Yeah.
of like new topics and just continue that shit nonstop for 2 hours.
that is something that I don't think we like look past at all, just due to the fact that this is how our conversations one-on-one go, and the fact that we can just constantly pull people in over and over. Like our this is 51, Manny was 48. When Manny's was coming out, and I mentioned it to him, and we've mentioned a few times, like he's a very quiet dude. He has a podcast himself with two of his buddies, and shout out ABK Podcast, and he doesn't talk a lot. So him coming on was one of those things where it was like he chimes in here and there, but those guys, Jake and Brandon, can just go back and forth nonstop. And when Manny came on, we were pulling, like not even like hardcore pulling, like he was just letting loose on it, but it was just like allowing that comfort, like you said, of the conversation, allowing it to flow, asking the right questions, bringing out the right answers, all those different things that eventually gives us the flow that we have. I mean, our intros, when we do them, every time we get done, we're just like, it's really fucking weird, dude, because we can get done with a sentence and the next person will pick it up. And so, yeah, we have, I think that's where we have that unique flow.
Flow's getting better. Intro's getting worse. You never know what's gonna fucking happen.
But yeah, you're right. There's that one aspect that I feel like we have that is special and unique to us, but it's also just the timing and the right conversations and stuff like that.
It's yeah,
Picking up on video 50 episodes in.
that's gonna help too. That shit's the golden ticket right there.
I mean, yeah, it's the biggest upgrade.
Apparently, it's what people want. So
Yeah, they want to see your guys' reaction.
we're gonna
to
get like 2 or
everything.
3 views, and then I'm just gonna be like, oh,
Yeah, right.
whatever, I don't care.
I'm super curious to see what our videos are going to compare to our YouTube listens.
It's gonna pop up, but I don't think it's gonna pop up as much as like our normal shit.
No, nowhere near. But I'm just like consistently, we get like what on YouTube?
2.
Like 2 to
2 to
50? Because some of them really pop up high.
Well, that's because people look up like Isabella. They'll look up her name on
because she's hot and famous on Instagram.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but just regardless, like we get like 2 on one of them, and then like the next one will get like 40, and then some will get like 8.
It's very odd.
It's very sporadic. But
Yeah.
now that we have video and people can see reactions, people can see visual cues and stuff like that. People can see Nick's house.
It's not my house.
Then I wonder how many people will actually like be like for instance, let's say they're listening to something and they'll be like, holy fuck, I can't believe you just did that. I wonder how many people will just like switch over to the YouTube app real quick and just be like, what do they do? Like, what
Because I
happened?
always hear like Joe Rogan's.
I do that on podcasts I listen to a
every so
lot.
often I'll switch over and I'm like, oh, what are the images they're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like, so again, asking you, when are you hopping on your shit?
Okay, so
Okay, this is where I get real fucking like.
He loves to, as soon as he finds out somebody has a passion, he's like, do it now, do it yesterday.
it's actually what I need. I need like that kind of push, because I told myself before the summer came, I was like, since I'm not in school anymore, I have all this time.
Mom and Dad.
I have all this time to do it.
Yeah.
And so there's really no reason why. I just need that
isn't.
push. And like, I think the support is really helps me out.
Do you know
a lot.
who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
Yes.
Watch him all day. Like he will at some point. It's very odd. It happened to me and my brother, but then I fell back into him. You'll watch him and be like, fuck, he says the same shit all the time. And then you'll take like a month away. And then I have been on a binge of him. I watch every single one of his fucking Instagram videos that he puts up. I click on the Instagram like video shit, the link to finish it when it has like 14 seconds left.
Instagram TV.
TV, yes. I'll watch that shit because it's just like he has such good advice. And most of it, and this is for you and literally anybody listening, is you're just making fucking excuses. That's literally all it is. You are the only thing holding you back. You have all your equipment, and even if you didn't have all the equipment, right? Like this is a $200 camera, which was just like we could have gotten something for $100. These fucking mic stands are $10 to $15. The mics were just left over from band shit. This laptop I bought for all my other work, but this is like $150. These are $80. The cords, all this fucking shit. Everything around you right now, if found online, other than the laptop, could probably get you about $500. And even without that, it's like, do it on your fucking phone.
You can still do it, yeah.
Take your phone out, turn it to the side, and you have a video camera with a good mic.
Yeah.
Brother Nature did everything from his fucking phone.
And now look at him. He's got fucking beautiful teeth.
Oh.
But
Both.
so glad we went that way. But I just, in my head, it's one of those things that like I can come up with excuse after excuse too. Like the fact that I haven't been putting in the work that I need to for the next vlog, but I have the vlog halfway ready for the next few photos that I want to post, but I have the next few photos ready. Like motion versus action. I have been on a fucking binge about that, and the band wants to write about it. Oh, we're stuck on it right now. Like,
yeah, man.
Motion versus action. Go ahead.
All right, so I touched on it a little bit on the last episode. Technically not the last episode.
Yes.
The last episode we recorded. So to give you a perspective, and I think you'll take note of this. I learned from a YouTuber not a while back ago, actually, like literally last week. Learned from a YouTuber.
So long ago.
Yes, it's been ages. I can barely remember the information. He categorized 2 things when it comes to creative projects. There's motion and there's action. Sorry for everybody who I'm repeating this for. Motion is you sitting there thinking of the ideas, thinking of how great it's going to be, planning it out, knowing what you're going to need and what you're going to need to do. Action is going through with it, actually recording what you want to do, actually putting out content, actually creating your social media platforms and creating your pages and consistently putting up a schedule for you to follow through on. And motion has this illusion to make it feel like you're actually getting shit done when you're participating in it. When you plan like your foodie stuff, when you plan like the stuff that you want to touch on and the like adventures you want to take when it comes to your food ideas, that's motion. And although it feels like you're getting shit done, you're not actually getting anything done.
You haven't done anything.
You haven't put anything out yet. And so you have to be able to, in your brain, differentiate the difference between motion and action and realize that everything gets done through action motion is totally necessary. You need it to continue. You need it to plan. You need it to create good, different, original ideas. But don't let yourself confuse the difference or confuse the two. Don't let yourself feel like just because you have some motion in your life means that you're getting shit done. Only when you execute action is when your shit actually gets done.
If you don't have product at the end of all that talk, then it was all just motion.
Mm-hmm. And once you get action done, then you're really hitting the track. Then you're really going.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing that I touched on before.
So knowing the difference between those two things and like really thinking about that, because for some reason it hit home with me. Like I've been thinking about it since you brought it up.
Dude, it's some shit that really hit me too.
Yeah. Like even if it's not, not necessarily posting all the time, but just having a product to look at or like half a product to look at least that is action. That is, a halfway point, a quarter point, but you're making moves. The motion is just kind of like you said, you're just talking and then you're like, oh, I have all these ideas ready to be set into action, but they're not being done.
You haven't done it yet.
Being put into motion.
I think what you should do, and don't be one of those people, and this is something that I try to get across to people all the time, is like, oh my God, it's November. We're coming up on 2020. It doesn't mean a goddamn fucking thing. Just do it whenever you're ready. And
December 3rd can be your January 1st.
Who gives a fuck? You want to start going to the gym? Start going to the gym today. Like, it's just start doing it. So that's all you have to do is start doing it.
A point I want to touch on is like we almost didn't. You were here for it. We almost didn't make this episode video.
Yeah,
we spent, like you said at the beginning, like 2 hours almost finding out how to set the shit up. Last minute putting it together because I realized we're recording 51 before we record 50, and we need video now.
Yeah.
So we almost didn't do this, right? And we also were contemplating, well, if we do it now, we won't be able to do it as good as we could do it in the future.
That thought came in for a moment and then left the next.
And so when you think of the people that you look up to that have creative projects, whether that be like your Gary Vaynerchuk, is that his name? Or your, for me, like Philip DeFranco or Joe Rogan, the fucking god of our thoughts. When it comes to these people that you really look up to because of the things that they've created and the places they've got, go back to their very first post and look at the quality that they put out. Look at how good shit was. Listen to the audio, look at the visuals, the camera, the tech, the setup they were working with, the composition they had. It's probably dog shit compared to what they do now. But that didn't stop them from putting out content and from pursuing the passion that they wanted to do. We very well could have sat on our ass and done audio only for the next 50 more episodes because we couldn't afford the camera we wanted, the mics we wanted, the setup we wanted, everything. But we hit fuck it and we went, we'll put it out now and people will see our growth. They'll see in another 50 episodes how great everything else looks now compared to how it looked when we first put out our very first episode, the one that you're on, with video.
No, granted, with all of that being said, there are things that become holdups. Like I literally didn't know on this camera that the fucking charger was plugged into it.
Yeah, no, there are things that prevent you from doing it, but when you're preventing you from doing it because because you are like, but it won't be as good. You could have the best quality equipment, the best quality setup, the best plan ever. But if you're not the type of person that will sell what you're doing, that will be likable, that won't harness your creativity in the right way, it doesn't matter how good your shit is. No one's going to like it. And you could be Brother Nature with a fucking iPhone 6 putting out a video of his deer in the front yard. And as long as people like it, they won't give a fuck to an extent about how low quality your shit is. And eventually over time, it's going to get better because you already have at least got the ball rolling.
True.
You could put out the lowest quality foodie shit, but if you find the next hot spot, it doesn't matter if you posted that shit with an Android phone, with a Polaroid, with a disposable camera. If you have good content, people are going to see past whatever things that you have that aren't putting you at the top tier list of quality that every celebrity has.
And to kind of condense like the last few parts of that is just like, I already lost it. Gary Vaynerchuk posted up a video recently where he made 5 different posts in 2 minutes. And it was just him in a conference meeting. And he said there was this drawing that he put up when he was a kid, and he drew the same fucking drawing every time. And it was just this guy with a certain face, and he would draw it, and he'd put a little bubble, and it would talk into it. And he said, I'm going to make 5 pieces of content out of that right now. And so that's what he did in front of his conference room of people. And they just recorded the entire thing, and he posted them all up like that. And it was like 2 on Instagram, 2 on Twitter, 1 on, I don't know if it was like Facebook or YouTube or something, but like one was of him talking to the camera and a thing behind him and telling them to work their fucking ass off. The next one was a picture of the thing saying something. He erased the inside of it. He wrote something else in it, posted another picture of that, took those same things, posted them on Twitter and then somewhere else, and then he was done. And he was like, 5 pieces of content. Automatically, I'm on those people's fucking timeline. They know who I am for that day. They remember. That's it. It was just done in 2 minutes. He's like, fucking tell me you can't put up content. And I was like, Jesus.
You goddamn right.
You fucking call me out. And then the other thing that I always tell people, I've wrote down on my phone just now, was finding your work ethic. Whereas like, and I'll tell you about later stuff that I can't mention on here, but like, I know people who have a work ethic that I have been trying to follow for years, and I have constantly tripped on myself time and time again, where I'm just like, I can't do what they do, and it makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. And it's just, the problem is it's not a matter of trying to meet up to their, whether it's their expectations or your own expectations of what you can do because of them. It's finding your own shit. Work your ass off and post up all the stuff that you want to post, but if it's not making you happy, if it's not working out for you, find a new way to do it. I cannot work as hard as some of the people that I know. It's just not me. It's not in my blood. It's not how I work. And I've learned to accept that. I post very slowly, but I post up the content that I like. And eventually I'll create my own work ethic over that. But like, I can't post 3 times a week. You got me fucking bent, especially on YouTube. No fucking way, dude. I'll post once every 2 weeks. I'm going to hop back into Instagram when I can. I'm trying to get back into Twitter. And just kind of trickling where I can trickle, but make yourself known in different areas. You find your own work ethic, you'll find your own flow, and then you can just start beautifully putting out your own content.
Dude, like all you would have to do is like just take a picture of what kind of phone do you have right now?
iPhone 10.
Take a picture of something that you're eating that isn't a fast food chain in portrait mode, and then put it on Twitter or on Instagram. And whatever, and write a caption. And just start that ball rolling, just be like, this shit fucking hit.
One of the things that I know I excel at for sure is, for some reason my Instagram videos hit, and it's literally just because you take the camera, you go like this, you're talking with people, you zoom in on their face, you go over here, you zoom in again, and then you got content, and that's all that fucking is. And for some reason, when you start to get your own flow of shit, like I didn't get that from anybody. That was just what I learned on my own. That is what people look for, is not, oh, what is he doing that's like someone else? It's just, what is he doing?
It's like what identifies you as yourself.
Yeah. Like if Nick made vlogs and he made his vlogs like piece for piece exactly like David Dobrik, nobody would want to watch his vlogs because they'd just be like, if I'm going to watch this, I'm going to go watch David Dobrik.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you want to make Nick rule vlogs.
Exactly.
You want to make Caleb and Nick podcasts. You want to make Vince level foodie shit.
Yeah.
Like when we started, it was mostly 2 a week. And then we realized we can't do this anymore. It's not working that well, and we're burning through content too fast. Let's do 1 a week until maybe trickle into a week here and there. Works for us. Everybody, for the most part, has latched onto it. It's cool. So all I'm getting at is those different things. Like if you have the equipment and you are literally, what you did already, admitted that it's just fucking you.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Put it out, even if it's shit, dude. Like it's so much better to put something out than nothing.
You can't improve off of nothing.
Yeah.
That's true. I think it's just mainly me of just sitting like back at home when I get back from work. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to do anything. But I do have time.
That feeling.
Yeah. And the thing is, I have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm being a lazy fuck. And I hate to admit that I'm being fucking lazy because I know I can put something out good. Mm-hmm. And when I have something, it's like...
It's also this fucking thing that drains your time. This drains a lot of my fucking time.
This thing
too.
being your phone for people who...
Hi, everybody on video.
It was the phone, yeah.
It's... You find things that, especially your phone, I mean, that thing is goddamn addicting. It's right there. All the knowledge you need, all the information, keeping up with your friends, texting, calling, FaceTime, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
all
Snapchat.
the feel-good back pats.
Fucking whatever, dude. It's all there. get off of it and sit there. Just that's what I do when I'm just like, I need to work. I'll get off my phone and I'll just lay there. I'm like, I need something to do, but my phone is not like something that I allow myself to do.
Yeah.
So the next thing I do is hop on my computer. It's the next addicting thing.
AKA
to
his
do.
big phone.
Yeah, and I'll just put on music. Music distracts me. I start editing, whatever. You find your workflow, but you have to start.
For instance, as soon as you do whatever creative content you have planned for your food journeys, I am going to subscribe, follow, like all of the shit that you put out, not just because you're my friend and I support you, but because I don't follow anything like that. And I know that you know a lot of spots that I don't know just because of Linda's fucking Snapchat stories and Instagram stories. So like, I know you know a lot of good shit, and I cannot wait to hear about all the shit that you know about. And so like, it is just like a matter of you going out there. You could put it up on your fucking Instagram stories and only your Instagram stories. It will be enough. And if you fall in love doing it and get that habit in, then you'll improve naturally. You don't have to wait.
Cool.
Really, I thank you. Thank you guys. I needed that fucking push, like get the fuck off your ass type shit and, you know, make it happen because it's there. Like, you know, there's no excuse why I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
You get that shit rolling and you get that shit established. And I guarantee you come back on here a different person with a different conversation and a lot of people will hear it.
Set a schedule for every 2 or 3 weeks on a certain day to put out a video and you'll meet up to it, especially when people start expecting it. That's honestly, I'm not even going to bullshit. That's the main reason that we put out every Monday, because sometimes it would have been a Tuesday, but we're like, nope, we need to. Sunday night, 9:00, he's got to work. Oh, well.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
First.
We got content.
Like we treat it like it's religious, like it's sacred. You know how people are like, everything can be, you know, walked all over except for like this super sacred thing. As soon as you treat it with that same like religiosity of just like it's holy, you don't mess with it. It's this you can't fuck with that. Then that is when it becomes an easy habit. Like the podcast, it is sacred. We do not post at least once a week.
We skip out on photos every so often.
Hey, if I fuck up, I fuck up. Right? It comes out though. It's once a week. But yeah, like we don't ever sacrifice the podcast unless it's life or death.
One of the things that, and if you ever need this as well, and I offer this to people sometimes, to anybody even fucking listening to, I have a friend who I have literally never met in person, met her through mutual friends on Twitter, who we just got into this really in-depth conversation one day, and we kind of like met eye to eye on a lot of shit, and it was just crazy because I didn't even know she thought that way, who will hit me up every so often, I'd say once a month at least, with, and I call everybody Papa or Ma, like that's just something that I do, and she also does that as well. So she's like, hey Papas, I'm not having a good day, can you send me some encouragement? And I'll sit down, take 5 minutes out, and I'll write down this like thing just for her, and I'll send it out, and she's like, that's all I needed, I'm at the gym, I'm fucking going, I'll talk to you soon. And we don't talk for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. If you ever need any like, hey dude, I'm not fucking, just text one of us, whatever, and we're just gonna like, get off your fucking ass.
Yeah,
just
make it a group chat. Then it's like more liability.
Yeah, especially because like I'm terrible at replying. He's better, and that is why it's the Nick and Tub podcast.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck, dude. We did 2.5 hours.
Hell yeah.
Damn, that shit felt like an hour, man. That didn't feel
Dude,
like
it's a time machine.
I can go to bed all goddamn day.
It's cool shit. I definitely want to have you fucking back on, dude. That we could have gone on so many tangents. I mean, I had to pull it back on some of them because I was like, we're getting too deep. We're drowning. But I think we should definitely do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Probably get fucked up next time.
Hopefully next time you guys will be on my show.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. All right.
You're getting me excited, you motherfucker. You better
How about this? Our thing right now, as of what we've been doing recently, is like every 30 episodes for some reason we start bringing people back. So that's like 1 a week for fucking, you're looking at 7 weeks. If you don't have shit out in 7 weeks, I'm going to bring you back here for another 2.5 hours.
7 episodes.
What?
That's 7 episodes.
What am I talking about? 28 weeks.
You have 6 months.
You have 6 months.
No, give me a shorter timeline.
No. I'm saying you have 6 months to not only start, but establish yourself.
And if you don't, it's another 2.5 hour session of Trash and Vince.
Slander.
We're just like, hey guys, welcome to Nick and Tub
Yeah,
Podcast.
fuck you.
This is a special episode where we just shit on Vince for 2 hours.
Slaughterhouse. But yeah,
How about this? If you get your shit rolling and you really get shit going and we see you're posting consistently, you cut the line. You'll be back on quicker.
let's see.
Of
What?
course.
It's November 14th. Put something out mid-December.
November
Put
14th,
shit,
mid-December.
Nah, fuck that. Put something, even if it's just an Instagram post, out next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
All right, deal.
I only gave him mid-December because
Well, we don't know exactly what he's doing
I'll
yet.
I know.
put an Instagram post next week, but I'll put a video out before mid-December. How about that?
yeah,
Deal.
That's a
I
deal.
like that.
Yeah.
We'll set it in stone.
Shake on it.
I like that.
Fuck
right.
yeah. I
Cool.
think it's a good spot to end it on.
And do not have me back on. Look, if I post that post next week,
Yeah.
don't have me back. Don't mention my name on this show because I do not fucking deserve it until I get you guys on that goddamn show.
Okay.
That's fair by me.
Fucking deal, brother.
So 51, really quick before we close it out, drop your shit.
Yeah,
where people
plug
are
your
going to
shit.
find you. All that fun stuff.
Shit.
Because
Twitter.
if they want to look forward to anything that you're going to put out, where are they going to find you where you post about it?
Got it. So you won't find out my YouTube until I actually post it. So you got to find me on Vince Stop on Twitter. That's the one I think is more important to follow.
Vince
and then
stop. Like
Yeah,
it's
cool bug facts.
yeah, cool bug facts. You'll see.
STOP.
You'll see. And then Vince.jpg on Instagram. I'll probably have more food related things on there.
Yeah.
Twitter is just bullshit.
Yeah,
Hell
Twitter,
yeah.
Twitter is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Spanish milk tea.
Yeah, shit like that. If you want some fucking dumb stuff, go on there.
All right, guys. That was episode 51.
Yeah.
I call it a wrap.
First video.
Fuck yeah. First video we've ever recorded.
Thank
Second
you.
This
video
is the
that
second
you're
video
seeing.
you've seen.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be signing off. Go fuck yourself. Bye.